Morning, good evening, good afternoon, good wherever you are in the world. And thank all the people on the support walls so much for last week's contributions. I just put in the top threes for each category uh, to say a little extra. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And always appreciated, never expected. What I really like is people showing up like Tootly and saying, hey, and Christine, good morning. Iris is back in the game. Good morning, Iris. Um, Rob Mill, good morning to you as well. Mr. Fedorowski. You sound like a Bond villain when I say it. I don't know why I say it that way. And good morning, Kim. And Pixie is up early as well. This way up, Mr. Yeah, what was I about to say? I've been recording Christmas videos for the last hour, so my head is a little. It always is, but I just blame it this time. No, today we will be going back for the Hannah Payne case. Was it a racial motivated unaliving, or was it a struggle about a gun? I've been told I'm an absolute moron for believing this woman, that her lawyer is an absolute dirtbag, and I'm probably a bad man for believing her. So I love comments. Remember, like and subscribe, and even dislikes is an interaction. So if you don't like what I'm saying, you're more than welcome to tell me how stupid I am. You're up late. Well, good morning, Miss Luna. Hey, K squared. I had a great weekend. I my my stabby day was as always fun, and then I was on with a few other on a few other channels. It was nice. And talking about other channels, I hope I won't get copy struck for playing this one, uh, because I got something amazing s- sent to me. Because as you know, I'm kind of weird. So someone made this, and of course, this is made by our own little feral housewife, and she got a new toy. And what was the project she made? Well, if you haven't already been over at Feral Housewife's YouTube channel and seen it, you can see it here. It's amazing how much my stupid little channel inspires other people. Good morning, Peach and Peter A. Hello. And your new camera equipment was just shipped out at noon. Well, I think you always wanted new stuff. Good morning, Carlene. John Gary, you tend to believe there's a struggle, but so far I lean towards thinking she unlawfully caused that struggle to happen. Yeah, it'll be interesting if she takes the stand and tells us what happened. But good morning, Jude. Yeah. No, I expect you to die, Mr. Bond. I could hear Farrell say that. Even the corner kisser chin is made perfectly. Let's go back. Stop playing when I do this. Just show this. Stop it. Stop playing. You're stupid. A little corner kisser made by... Hey, Dave.
That's awesome. I saw that earlier.
Farrell got a new toy, so you know what you're going to get for Christmas.
You know, I've always wanted a laser etcher or like a computer-operated CNC for my wood shop, and I'm a little jealous, but that's very cool. Can you hear me okay? How's this little microphone sound?
Well, it's fine. In my ears.
I'm trying to be a little more mobile and where I'm not just in my headphones because I know the audio's shit. Sorry, bad. Not so good.
Good morning.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it's fun how we can do all kinds of crazy stuff now with just my stupid drawings and other people's talents.
You know, I was thinking for a while I was going to make little MLS, wooden MLS logos, and that people could paint or do whatever. And I never made those up, but I could. So make a batch of them up if anyone's interested. That's the whole thing. It's like I would have to go through a lot of effort to make a bunch of them, and I don't know if anyone would care.
No, and the fun thing is we are sitting here thinking I should do this, and then first of all, no one told me that we weren't going to 9:30, so I could have made myself a cup of coffee.
They said 9. They said 9.
Yeah, but Lorne and Krim has it going in 31 minutes, but that doesn't matter because then we have time to talk about it. No, but I was reading or recording Christmas stories, and all of a sudden it's just an hour gone, and I normally have a pre-streaming nap. And then I had my Monday politics videos in Danish, and then I thought, well, I'd just record something. And then I thought, well, I'd like to make an intro for people who's been on the board for the last week, so the top 3 of all those. And all of a sudden, it's 4 minutes before you have to start, and you have to rush around your house to make stuff happen. It takes so much time.
That's the life of a streamer. You know, I'll be sitting and I'll be doing little... What was it? Jody Day, I think yesterday, or not yesterday, Saturday. I had, or maybe it was Tuesday. I can't remember, but it was like noon, and it was like, oh my God, it's 2 after. I haven't opened up my studio yet because I was busy like messing around with stuff.
Yeah, and it's so fun whenever you find something you think, oh, that's it. I tried to do a little Karen Reed update yesterday to fun people into Valhalla stream, and you know me, I start talking, my brain goes somewhere crazy, so those 60 minutes turn into 90 minutes, and I only did half of the stuff I wanted to do because you just get caught up in it. So it's not a complaint, it's just a malfunction in my brain.
No, I think it's you find something fun to do. Like I've been doing this little Lego motion capture, and I find anytime I have like a few minutes, because it's there in my living room, I'm like, ooh, let me set up a new shot and try this and see how this works, and then, you know, I'm like, oh, I got 10 minutes, I'll mess with this, and an hour later,
yeah,
like, I'm coming. I told you I was coming. It's only been 5 minutes.
Yeah, and I think because doing these live streams can be really exhausting, so I think it's really good to keep your mind occupied with something. I spent 2 or 3 hours yesterday working with AI to make some pictures because the expert told me about it, so I thought, well, let me try it out. It's I never worked with it before. Maybe it's better than my painting, and it clearly is because my paintings are sheesh. I made
I
I tried to make AI reconstruct the Karen Reed accident, and it looks even worse when you see it.
oh wow. Yeah, that's
That's and it
what?
took me like 15 minutes to try and just get something that made sense out of it.
Yeah, when you oh, so yeah, you got to type in the description of the image you want.
Yeah.
And the less descriptors that you use, the worse the image is and the way off that it is. And so you got to like let me try adding this little bit and this little bit and this little bit. And then depending on what AI program you're using, some of them have like filters where they won't show certain things like force
Yeah.
manipulators. They're like, nope, we're not going to show that one. It's like, but I need the body of, this woman with a knife sticking out of her. Why won't you create that for me?
Yeah, and that's the bit, and I can't figure out because I find different things online because it says, oh, you can't use it commercially, but it's my product because no one else can make that product. And AI can't have copyright for anything. And the provider of the machine that makes my picture can't own my copyright. So I can't see how they can say.
I haven't looked into any of that. I just use whatever I have.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, well, it's going to be a fun case when they hit me.
Wait, this way. It looks like this. See, doesn't it look like a thumbs down?
Yeah.
It looks like a thumbs down, doesn't it? That's the first thing I thought of.
You have a Lego stream this Saturday.
I do with Joe from Good Logic.
That's going to be interesting.
I made him purchase the New York landscape while we were live on one of his streams. So he'll be building that. And if Denmark can get its arse in order and send me the missing pieces I have, I will be reconstructing a 1996 Wild West Lego set.
Oh, how cool.
But I'm waiting on parts from Denmark, and you know how slow those people are.
Yeah, mostly mentally. When the person killed does not have a traditional deadly weapon, 3 not guilty, 8 guilty. As soon as you have the pew stick, I think there's a force multiplier that people tend to see that might or might not be lawfully figured into it, but people are just thinking, well, he didn't have anything, she had a pew stick. Oh, by the way, everyone, they will, as always, be covering the afternoon.
Oh, yes. But I forgot we have a birthday dinner today at 4, so that would prevent me. So I would stream from like 1:30 to 3:30, and that would all I'd be able to do. Which, wait, did somebody just pop their head up?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, we're going to cover this afternoon at 7 p.m. Eastern, which is really the only time that I can make this work. So there's going to be a little bit of a lag after lunch. Baker's got to go do bakery things. And then I've already got the stream set up so Baker can redirect you guys or post a link somewhere. So at 7 p.m. we'll go the afternoon.
I think you messaged me wrong because you said you had to send out for 9 p.m.
Oh, no. Oh, I meant to say 7 p.m. 7 p.m. is what it's set for.
Yeah, for my time.
7 p.m. Eastern. I have mine scheduled for 7 p.m. Eastern.
You're not going live at 1:30?
I could go live at 1:30, but I can only cover like an hour and a half, and then I'd have to kill it again. So I just thought I would just stream
you'll do it
7 when I'm
okay.
available to do the whole thing. Well,
yeah,
I guess that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, because I was thinking if you were covering the first part and if they were getting close to closing, I could get an app, come back on.
I could do that.
It's just I just need I need my little 1 hour streaming nap, and I didn't get it because I was
going to say you're only going to get like 2 hours at the most.
Yeah, but still,
yeah,
I'm just
okay.
gonna need an hour. It's because we won't end so damn late. It's just I get up early and I need my little 1 hour.
Okay, so I will set it right now for 1:30 p.m. If the court comes back after lunch at a different time, I'll just set it at that time. But right now
Yeah.
we'll plan on 1:30, and then I'll stream for as long as I can until I got to get out of here, and then
Yeah, and
and then
if they're
Baker
close,
can take over if need be.
yeah, I'm gonna eat and take a nap and then be ready to go at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
What is the
If we need it.
cameraman doing?
He does this every day when they start.
She's just testing to make sure his cutting.
Oh, you saw me very early. That was when I got up. Hey, Scott. Not active law enforcement, 7 guilty, 6. Yeah, self-defense cases normally goes bad. That's just
Well, to be fair, I would rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. But at the end of the day, I would prefer neither.
yeah, and as I always say, it isn't about the law; it's about the jury.
Mm-hmm. No, it really is. I mean, you can get a situation like this, and the jury could find guilt, and then you get a situation like the port shooter in Texas, where they don't even indict. The grand jury doesn't even indict. It's about your jury, or the bar fight gone wrong, and they convicted him. Where I feel like that was more clear that it wasn't, or that it was self-defense. Just the fact that he removed himself from the situation and they continued to follow him. That alone.
Yeah. Oh, this one. Look how nice it is. It's almost as pretty as a Sonic Chew.
Oh, damn it. I forgot to order your coloring book yesterday. I was trying to do it on my phone, and then it was kind of a pain. So I was going to do it on the computer, and I forgot to order it. But my wife is excited to color in your drawings.
Well, thank you. That's why I want to use the AI to make it more presentable, because now it's just my bad handwriting. So,
I got my pad, by the way, with the stylist, and it's extremely sensitive. But once I figure out how to work the controls, I think it's going to be really cool, and it might improve your drawings.
But can you draw? Like I use this one.
Yeah, you could draw just like it replaces your mouse. So you'll have both your mouse and the stylus, and as soon as you touch the stylus to the pad, it will start drawing. So I've been trying to play with the controls so that it will only draw when I hit the button, hold the button down. Right now it's like reverse. It's really weird. So I keep drawing unintentionally, but it's nice. It's like drawing with your hand. Hi, Jamie.
Hi, morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Jamie.
What are you guys doing?
Jury instructions are worded weirdly, so jurors come to a guilty verdict, at least what I see. Yeah, and I think, especially in the DeLee case, the problem was the defense didn't explain how it was self-defense.
Well, and I think, first of all, the jury instructions that I've heard in this case sound really good. I mean, they're not as I would write them, but they're probably the best that I've heard doing this, covering trials for a little while. So I really like these jury instructions, at least the ones that were given at the beginning. The problem, I think, as somebody pointed out on Friday's stream, is that I'm not sure that this defendant is claiming self-defense as opposed to accident.
Yeah, I think it's
so you have to have an accidental self-defense, which is not going to work. What was the other case where we heard accidental self-defense? Was it the cop that pulled out the gun instead of the taser? And it was like essentially like accidental self-defense or something. It's just a weird argument to get a jury to wrap its head around. Yeah, Kim Potter. It's just a weird argument, and I don't know how well it's going to go.
And someone asked me earlier for the pictures from other pictures I made with AI. I just made a little muffin top.
Jamie,
And
you like
also-
the?
I love all of it.
I saw the. I need that as an emoji because I have the. Well, I mean, if you want to give up your AI rights or your copyright rights, one of my emojis was the spider with the syringe, and
Yeah.
I wasn't using AI at the time, and I had to literally find a spider with a syringe, which was so hard to find.
Hey,
That's
Nathan.
every day.
Yeah, I know. It was like we find an AI.
Yeah, but Theodore Edgecombe, maybe his biggest problem was the choice of lawyers. And Carissa, I will be using my AI skills for making emojis as well. But I was actually doing it because Jung wanted something a little more female oriented for my merch. That's why I started doing it, because I have the muffin tops as my nickname for my harem.
I want to type into my AI right now, see if I can get a spider and a syringe and see what it comes out looking like.
Right? Yeah, because like his little AI muffins are just like, they're so like, the cartoon is just so cute and girly. It's perfect.
Yeah, well, they're good.
Or like what Jung is looking for.
It's more Jung style.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jude. I just use Bing AI. It
Oh,
has.
is that what you're using? See, Bing AI gave me a lot of roadblocks when I was trying to type some in. I think I was trying to go. I was trying to do some Jodi Arias stuff, and I wanted to put her in a Santa hat, but also be like angry and covered in blood. And it was like, yeah, no. So I have this other AI website that I've been using.
Thank you so much, Jude, for the super chat. But it's just Bing AI. It's a part of Microsoft, and that's why I was googling if I can use it commercially, and I got 46 different answers. And then I read the TOS, and it says absolutely nothing about it. So, and as I think there's no rules on AI copyright yet, so it should be free for all.
I would think, because you're creating your own design. It's not like you're taking somebody else's.
No,
And AI
top
isn't.
muffin.
So
Yeah, Bing just said, "What do you want?"
Okay, so my first request was Ninja Spider carrying a syringe, and let me show you what it came
Jude,
up with.
if you go to Bing and go into image creator, I think is the name of it. But it's the Bing, the search engine, and then into image creator or creation. And then you can just start typing this. You get like 15.
This is my Ninja Spider carrying a syringe that my AI generated.
are you serious?
Why does it have a mirror and a gas mask and a pen?
I don't know. Why is it dressed up like Spider-Man?
like,
It's
why-
already a spider.
Spider-Man.
Because it's your friendly neighborhood spider.
All right, I'm gonna run this
Why
a
is
few
there
more
a
times.
pen?
Well, there's an EpiPen.
Oh my god.
See, even AI gets it wrong, folks.
AI is hilarious.
Only one who didn't. Yeah, I think in a self-defense, you need to take the stand.
In self-defense, it's the only time I would say that you would need to take the stand. And even then, it's very cautiously and after much deliberation.
So
Well, while he gets, I gotta make my coffee because I was running a little late. So I'm just gonna make a coffee, and Dave is gonna give a concise synopsis.
Wait, what am I doing? I'm making ninja spiders. What? All right. So,
got some
newbies to this case, I need to. Okay, can I concise Dave synopsis stat? All right. So, what we have is we have a vehicle accident with a 65-year-old man who ran supposedly a red light. I don't think it's contested, a red light or a stop sign, and collided with a semi-truck. At the scene are a few people kind of looking around, but in particular, there is a off-duty corrections officer and the defendant, who is a white woman, and she is essentially standing on the side of the road observing everything. The 65-year-old man seems a bit out of sorts, according to the corrections officer, and they call 911. After about 20 minutes or so, the police do not arrive, and the corrections officer calls 911 back again. During the second 911 call, the 65-year-old man gets into his truck, which did not appear to be operational, but yet was, and drove off. The corrections officer then yells for someone, and it sounds like he was yelling specifically at the defendant to go follow him and get his plates. It was a little frantic. Get his plates, get a picture, get the plates. So the defendant hops in her Jeep Wrangler, drives after the guy, calls 911 while she's driving after the guy as well. The 911 operator says twice not to follow him, and she said, well, I'm going to go get his plates. The man is then turning into sort of a, if you can imagine an exit ramp off of a freeway, although it's really just a designated right-hand turn lane to turn right onto another road. It's just surface roads. It's not a freeway. The defendant pulls in front of his vehicle, and the man either stops just short of hitting her vehicle or hits her vehicle first on. We're not sure because there's conflicting testimony. But either way, the woman gets out, and the man then either he's already hit her vehicle or he moves forward and hits her vehicle at that point. The defendant confronts the 65-year-old man at the side of the window, the driver's side window. He is inside. There's been statements that he couldn't open his driver's side door, both by police and other people. Like it didn't open, maybe because of the accident, maybe because of something else. There's a scuffle that ensues, and the woman, who is licensed and lawfully carrying her firearm, ends up shooting this man. The issues are, was it self-defense? Did she do it because she didn't like his driving, as suggested by the prosecution? There are, for the state side, in my view, there are issues with her, with the state side, in that the bullet entered the right side abdomen of the 65-year-old man, which is odd if he's sitting in his driver's seat and the woman's standing outside his vehicle. You would expect it to enter the left side. So what exactly is going on? Now, she claims that he grabbed her, tore her shirt. Her shirt is torn. You can see it in the pictures. And sort of kind of pulled her in the vehicle and grabbed her gun, and that he pulled the trigger. That's her statements at the scene or shortly thereafter, that he essentially accidentally shot himself while she was defending herself. And that's why we talked about sort of the accidental self-defense argument might get a little tricky.
And we did hear on the recording, she was screaming, stop, stop, stop. And then the gun went off.
Yes. So I think at the end of the day, for me, if she is lawfully carrying the gun and under the Georgia statute at the time was lawfully making a citizen's arrest, and the question is going to come down to, did he grab her first? Did he try to pull the gun from her or grab her, period? That's going to make a big difference. I think the guy was wrong in the first place from running. You're essentially balancing who was more bad, right? Because both parties did kind of dumb things and bad things and things you shouldn't do.
Yes.
You know, you shouldn't run from a scene, but you shouldn't also follow and confront a guy. You shouldn't put yourself in a position where a guy who just ran from a car accident is going to collide with you again. You shouldn't probably stand next to the window. You shouldn't also grab a woman's shirt nor her gun. You know, everyone's doing bad things. And when I say bad, I don't necessarily mean illegal, but just essentially probably not the right steps. There's a lot of things that could have not been done that would have prevented this whole incident from happening. So you're kind of weighing the bads, in my view. And I'm still at this point weighing the bads in favor of the defendant. But that's my assessment.
And
I think it's the charges that get me. They don't equate to what like you just said exactly what happened and exactly what I saw happen. Like,
I mean, according to the testimony,
scuffle ensues, and what they're claiming she did, she murdered this man in cold blood. Like that doesn't add up for me.
well, it almost sounded like from the state's opening statement that she literally stood outside of the vehicle, aimed her gun, and shot him while he was sitting inside. That's what it sounded like in the state's opening statement, when that's not the picture we're getting. I'm not praising this defendant for any. She's not a hero here, right? She put herself in a very bad spot, but so did the 65-year-old man. And you're really just weighing who was worse, the 65-year-old man or the woman. And if you think the 65-year-old man was worse, then you should acquit her. It's really just that's what it is. It's just they're both bad actors.
Yeah, and from the pictures we see, it's not clear if she had. We only seen two still photos where it seems like her left hand is inside the car, but it's hard to see if she has the pew stick in her right hand in the first picture. Iris sees it that way. I can't tell. And then we see the second one where she has it behind her. So again, it would be good to see the video, but they haven't shown it, which is perfectly fine because LNC has gotten in trouble because they showed stuff before. So yeah.
But that's my assessment.
Yeah, but the old dude didn't do anything bad, do something bad to her unprovoked. Well, no, because you have to think what. Well, he's just been an accident. Is he fleeing the scene? But still, does she have the right to come up and she legally do? But does he know that? So,
well, I'm going to say the bad things that this guy did. First of all, I don't think it's contested that he ran a red light or a stop sign and hit a truck. Then he left the scene of an accident. Then the way the cars are configured, she could have been just somebody in. She didn't necessarily. She wasn't like angled in a way to purposely block him. She's in line of traffic and he hits her again, or he hits her. So he keeps hitting people. He's done a lot of things wrong, right? And if think of all the times that we've heard 911 calls or whatever for people that have seen somebody swerving down the road, driving what appears to be intoxicated. They call 911, the person gets pulled over and they're like 4 times the legal limit. And you're like, oh my God, thank God somebody called 911 and followed this person, right? So it's not unheard of for people to do this. And sometimes we praise them for it, right? A lot of times we praise them for it, saying, hey, we don't want this person on the road. Thankfully, somebody spotted it and took appropriate steps. So it's just never a good position to be in the first place. So this guy did do a lot of bad stuff, right? Does it deserve unaliving? Not that stuff. But if he's grabbing this woman and trying to pull her gun and pull her into the vehicle, then maybe.
I mean, she could have, yeah, like we don't really, it all happened so fast and it's her thought process too. Like if he's grabbing the gun, even if people don't believe she should have had it out, if he's grabbing the gun, who's to say he doesn't grab it from her and shoot her? There's a lot of stupid.
How many cops have been shot by their own firearms? It happens.
And first of all, the most important things of my stream. Good morning, genitals.
Hi, genitals.
Welcome, genitals.
I got to say good evening, genitals, the other day, by the way, and I think I finally got the inflection right. I was very happy with my performance.
And Wendy, yeah, she is instructed by the 911 operator not to follow him. So I think that weighs against her in the eyes of the jury.
Because it's
yes, in the eyes. Yeah, but it's not authoritarian.
The 911 caller or dispatchers are not they're not any type of.
Don't do it again.
Yeah,
you are always talking about the law.
That's what I was trying to say. They have no authority.
You're always talking about the law, and we know more than anyone because we cover too many trials. Juries don't care about the law.
They don't.
They don't. It's all about optics. You need a bad actor. And so the question is can you make that 65-year-old man the bad actor in the eyes of those juries? jury members. I don't think so.
Yeah,
She said-
and John Gary said it. One of them isn't here anymore, so they're just gonna blame the other one.
Yeah. Well, I
And
mean,
I think
thing.
we saw that in the Dealey as well, because it was those three guys who made the entire problem.
Yeah.
But one of them fell over in the street, and that's why Dealey got sent to prison. It's the same, Iris, as trying to break up a fight. You don't know if one of them has a sharp object and you end up on the floor, or both of them turns on you. That's why police officers get that low wage to step in front of you.
Mhm.
Yeah, and she might have acted more aggressive than most cops would. Wendy, thank you for listening, even if you can't participate in chat. Even though for all 48 people watching us now, we are always loving when people chime in with their ideas, because we might have our ideas fixed, but as Iris the other day pointed out, she could see the gun in the picture. So I believe her, and I'd like to have my mind changed. I don't like echo chambers.
Yeah, and like I've said, I don't believe, like, I agree 100% with Dave. It's just like both parties acted stupidly. She acted very, she put herself in a situation that I definitely wouldn't. And I'm not saying she's right by any means, but it's just I look at the charges, and based off of what we have seen so far, I just can't get on board with the charges that they're charging her with.
No, they seem a little excessive. But on a happier note, just before court comes back, now we saw Farrell's great interpretation of the corner kisser. AI's interpretation wasn't that great.
He looks like he's gonna punch her.
Yeah.
It gets me. I don't know what he's got in his hand, but it looked like he was.
It looks like he has a backpack on. I don't know why. I said with his back turned to us, but
he's
it looks
gonna
like
punch her.
That's like,
no. He
hold it
has
up.
his,
I'm gonna punch her.
this is AI making a corner kisser. I think mine is better.
No,
You
when
know-
Farrell's came up. Oh my god! The minute it started drawing the hair, I was like, "Is this?"
I know.
Oh my
I saw
god!
that.
I was like, "Oh no!" So yeah, that was awesome.
Hey, Lady Law Sandra, welcome, welcome.
Hey, Lady Law. But yeah, all in all, like, me and Iris were talking because she's like, she thinks I think and I'm like, no, I just think that the charges are a little excessive, to be honest with you. My only qualm, but I know like we said, juries are about emotion. They're about emotion, and we got to find somebody guilty. So unfortunately, I think she's probably going to be found guilty. But
So why I typed in, okay, a man kisses a woman on the corner of the lips. And for some reason, this is what it got. I don't understand AI sometimes.
No, you really have to go back and blah 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 blah
Like,
blah
this
blah
is
blah
this
blah.
is what came up.
what? A three-way?
Yeah, that's what my AI thought I wanted.
Why is he leaning his?
I don't know.
She like, I'm gonna get in on this too.
Oh,
and he's like,
it was Farrell in there in the mix.
Oh my god.
The other one isn't any better.
No, but this just the guy who's about to be kissed.
This is the one, but look at her nose.
Yeah. Oh, I got one because I wanted to make something stupid as well, and AI is fun, but not always correct. Let's just say that,
We
because
just have a stream of just where we type things into AI and we pull up whatever it creates.
Have the chat make some AI for you.
I made this because a baker in court surrounded by dancing female muffin tops.
And that's what
So
he got.
this is, if you look on the one on the left, is a muffin with lady legs.
That is the greatest thing ever. That needs to be plastered all over your social media. This is
Isn't
the.
that cute?
It's so stupid.
That's amazing.
love it.
No, that is so perfect. You got to change out the American flag though for the Danish flag.
Yeah, but it has a really big problem. Didn't just put it in a Danish flag and keep the American flag. I don't know why.
Really?
Hey,
Oh,
Mads.
you tied it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Did you show the Christmas one?
No, Jamie.
I'm sorry.
Hey,
Was it a
hey,
secret?
hey.
That was the cutest.
Well, I just love that I finally have a media that can make all of my craziness come to life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it kind of works for me. I just that's why I want to make a coloring book with all of these AI generated craziness I come up with.
I want to know what it says if you type in cream pie.
I tried to make dancing cream pies, and I got a lot of hits for not being appropriate.
Oh yeah, that's the Bing stuff. Yeah, Bing. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I want to do this
So
for my Christmas stream.
he's reading a book to the little muffins.
Yeah.
Isn't that so cute? Oh my god, I'm gonna pass out for cuteness.
Oh, Lego court trial. Those look pretty good. I'm gonna have fun with this. There you go.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem. The second you start doing it, you're thinking, "Oh, I'm just gonna twist it a little bit," and then 2 hours later, you're still there.
Mm-hmm. But at least it saves all my old ones, so it's not like all the work is lost.
Is your paid per click or?
Yes, and I have 989 credits. So please give me some ideas. I'm going to do a stream. We can go through 989 separate images of just typing in random stuff to AI and see what it spits out.
That's the good thing about the Bing. They get you like 15 credits, but you can do whatever you want. It just takes a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So
This is Fotor, I guess is Fotor. That's what I use.
Photor.
And it's been pretty good for most stuff. It did some really cool stuff a while ago for me and Nicholas and Jody, but we ended up going with it had a hard time putting Jody in a straitjacket, and Farrell somehow was able to get it generated. I don't know what she was using, but we ended up going with that
She
one.
knows people who knows people. You know that. And Nathan, no, you don't have to pay for the Bing one. And that's why I was trying to figure out because if you Google if they have the copyright there, some claim they do, but you can't. I don't think in either Europe or US you can't copyright an AI product until you make it your own. Hey, Pixel.
What I like is you can also do it from an image on this one. So I can put in like a photograph and say make it a anime or something.
Oh yeah. Now you know what all of us trial streamers are doing when we get real quiet. No, I go to Bing and search for image generator or image something.
This is me according to AI.
I like your side shave and your denim jacket.
My denim jacket with my blue tie.
Yeah. That's a whole lot of wrong. Someone did AI Christ walking on wonder painting. Came up with some. Yeah, I bet that. Yeah, now I can combine all of them except the baking. So, but it's just so much fun because a lot of times you're sitting here and I normally use this medium to put up my crazy thoughts, and I never get it the way I want it. So I talked to a friend about maybe him helping me out because he knows Photoshop, and then I found the expert told me, oh, why don't you use AI? So I did that, and it's super fun, but it just takes so much time. But no, there's a lot of things that you can do with that. That's why everything is going to be run by AI. I was watching a fascinating documentary on Quentin Tarantino called King Got Foot. You don't eat her to forget me.
I'm
Do you
trying
use
the
text to
Jesus
speech?
walking on
Morning,
water
everyone.
thing.
You may have a seat.
That's not bad.
Have all the technological challenges been worked out? Okay, all right, and we're ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, we may approach real quick.
Certainly.
Thank you so much for having been a member for a month, Lexi. Happy month anniversary with me as a member. Well, thank you so much for being a member for a month. And it's always nice to have some of the cream pies around.
I
And
think
if
a
you
lot
are-
of the. Oops, sorry.
If you're a cream pie, I have a poll in my members only chat. It seems like I'm going to be streaming at Christmas, but I put one in that's, oh yeah, just a stream. That's 55%. And then the next one up is, do you want me to maybe do some drawings and give away a Picasso original? Maybe I can figure out how to print some of this on a piece of paper and color it. Go in and vote if you're a member of the Cream Pies.
I'm going to jump off and watch this from the chat so I could get some work done. I just wanted to come in and chit chat with you, but I was going to say it looks like the public attendance is down this morning as opposed to last week.
Yeah, the guy sitting behind her isn't the normal guy.
Yeah, so wonder where everybody's at. They got bored with this case.
Yeah, maybe there wasn't someone drumming it up outside. This guy has all the smokes in his hair.
Shizzy is sharing.
Yeah, it's an AI generator as well.
Oh, cool. I'm going to save this. And I will play with it later. All right, you all have fun. I'll be in chat. Oh, he's awake.
But yeah, a Picasso could be a thing, just so I have something else than just a trial to sit here for 6-8 hours and watch.
I believe there was one more thing, listening to 911 tape again last night, and I know probably should have been objected to the first time.
Turn on your mic, please. Turn on your mic, please. Court reporter.
Yeah, use the mic.
Hello. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Early in this case, when Judge Malone received the case, I went to go have a bond hearing, and the grounds for the bond hearing were to reconsider. Plus, the 911 tape appeared to have a 2-second gap that was unable to be explained why. The 2-second gap, you could hear from the video where it started and then where it came back in. And it came back in 14 seconds later when there's only a 2-second gap. So I was unaware of why a 911 tape would have a gap like that. And how do you fit 14 seconds into 2 seconds? During that hearing, I think the state stipulated that there is a 2-second gap where 14 seconds should be in the 911 tape. And I believe it's the one that's been presented here. I listened to it again last night just to make sure that the gap was still there, and it appeared to still be there. So I would object to being played again based on the fact that there is an issue with that 911 tape. I don't see procedurally how I could come back and try to have it redacted or taken back out of evidence. But I wanted to make the court aware of that gap that was there when it was discussed in the procedure of this court, not this court, but the previous court, and what was addressed and what was stipulated to. So I'm not sure how we would go about, and that's what I was looking for, some kind of law. Or
Oh,
something
thank
to
you, Shazi, for being a
present the
friend
court
for
that
a
would
full
be able
month
to
and
stop
re-upping.
or take the tape out because it has been altered with. The 911 custodian who got up on the stand said there was no way really to alter it in any form or fashion. However, it was altered, appeared altered. When I addressed it earlier on in this court proceeding, the state didn't have an answer either, and they just stipulated that, yeah, there's a gap, and yes, there should be 14 seconds in there, and if necessary, we could, I guess, outside the jury's presence, play it, and I can tell you exactly where it is, and you can compare it to the video and see where the gap is and what should be there and played, but was not.
Any response from the state?
Sure.
I'm not sure what he's talking about as far as stipulating to anything. Judge, the foundation for those calls was laid. The witness testified unchallenged about what could and could not be done to the calls as they come into the call center. When I tendered them into evidence, there was no objection. And so those discs are fully in evidence and can be played for the jury. And I don't think it's appropriate for defense counsel to try to argue that it's been altered.
If anyone is interested in the Zachariah Anderson case, and you all should be, check out the Wrongful podcast with our own Josie. It's a great podcast, to say at least. And I'm in talks with Saul to have him on and doing a stream in kind of like the fashion we did with Tom CPU, small panel, and a lot, as many questions from the audience as possible, so we can help him.
Yes.
With his making people aware about the case.
Because that was the testimony that was elicited that it hadn't been, and then he did not object. And it's too late to go back and try to claim alteration and things of those lines. He's had these discs for 4 years. 4 years. If there was something incorrect about them, he could have certainly brought his own expert. He could have done
someone jump off.
He could have objected.
Okay.
None of that has happened.
And remember, Dave is doing the
Calls
afternoon
are in evidence,
shift. His link is in the top
and
of
they
the
can be
chat.
played for the jury at this point, and we're going to play them this morning with the court's permission, obviously, as we discussed last week. And to try to come in now and claim that they've been altered when he didn't object or lay any foundation for that, there's literally zero evidence that there's anything wrong with these calls. There's a lot of operators in a 911 call center. If there's, other noises or anything else that's going on in the background, it is what it is. But the calls are in, and I think this, I don't know what it is, but this, I don't know if it's an objection or this argument is overwhelmingly untimely and without foundation.
And I would refer the court back to my motion to reconsider bond back when they put Ms. Payne back in jail because it got indicted. The case got indicted within 4 or 5 weeks, an unheard of time. And my motion was filed, and in that motion, it did describe what was heard on the tape, what the concerns were. And the prosecution or the assistant ADA at that time came in and said she would stipulate that there's a 2-second gap where a 14-second video
This judge is going to
had,
overrule him again.
appeared to be what should have been there. So this all should be on the record based on my previous motion that I filed with the reconsideration of a bond motion. It was heard, and it was decided that she would get a bond based on maybe some discrepancy or something being altered. So there was a bond given based on me playing the audio and playing the video at that time. And the ADA, it wasn't foul, it was I guess a stand-in. And she stood there and said, I stipulate there's a 2-second gap where 14 seconds should go in. And the judge made that decision to give her a bond based on me presenting that evidence. So there should be record of it. There should be a motion filed that described it. And there should be an order where she got a bond based on that. So there is record of this. And once again, as for timely, I guess I should have caught this earlier, but I wasn't sure which 911 because it had been so long ago and the court had already made a decision on it. So that's why I was looking for the law to see what I could bring in to use to bolster my argument, besides just saying I want to bring to the court's attention that this
Seems like
911
in this courtroom, you can get whatever you want in. That little smug smile at the judge.
Going back.
There's a transcript, but again, it doesn't matter. Before this jury, the state laid the foundation for those calls, laid the foundation for any ability to alter them, tendered them, and they were admitted without objection. So if he had an objection, that was the time to make it. That is what I mean by untimely. If he thought 4 years ago there was a problem with the discs, then something should have been done for trial. That was not a trial motion, and there's literally zero evidence that she got a bond because of a gap in a 911 call. Zero evidence of that. She got a bond because she'd already had a bond, and when we re-indicted her, she was rearrested. She'd already been on bond. So that is an attempt to mislead this court. And that's not why she got a bond. She got a bond because she already had one and had already been out. And the judge just basically reset the bond and put her on an ankle monitor.
That is incorrect, Your Honor. She denied a bond when she got rearrested. We went in front of the court and asked for a bond. She was denied a bond. And the judge was hesitant to allow that bond until I filed a motion to reconsider. And I brought evidence in there showing that there was a gap in this statement. There had been some kind of alteration of this document. And at that time, she decided to give her a bond. And it was a much higher bond than she already had done. So she had to keep that bond that she already paid for intact and pay an additional $300,000. So it was not given because she already had a bond. That was my first argument to get a bond, was the magistrate judge came to the conclusion that she was eligible for a bond and gave her a bond. Why would this court deny a bond? So I had to bring it back up in a motion to reconsider. And I put the facts in there of the tape being altered.
Okay, if I may, Judge, I have the transcript.
Okay. The transcript of
The bond hearing, yes, Judge, where it was fully explained. And it was ADA Fowler.
Then obviously that's the wrong. Mine was the motion to reconsider, not the original motion to bond.
By Mr. Fowler to the 911. It was a different custodian of records. Can you kind of just briefly explain to us what's going on during that silent period? The explanation. The way that the server works, that this audio was saved on, the best way to describe it is it's similar to a voice -aux recorder, if you're familiar with those. It only records when there is actual activity above a certain level. In other words, if you have a voice-aux tape recorder that you used in college, if you set it on a corner of a desk to record a seminar or something, if there's a pause in the lecture while the instructor takes a breath, for example, that recorder may stop. Question. So it's not as though the audio was edited to cut something out. It's just that the system can't hear, and so it stops for a moment. Answer. That's absolutely correct. It has not been edited in any way. And I'm trying to look through Mr. Tucker's cross-examination of that foundation witness.
And this is not the motion I'm talking about. This Mine is the motion to reconsider bond in front of Judge Malone. Fowler had already left by that time.
This is in front of Judge Malone.
And Fowler had already left, but I did the motion to reconsider.
No, the motion
That
to reconsider.
specifically discusses what the issue
I
you
hate
raised.
that prosecutor.
Attorney Tucker, unless you raise it again, but that specifically addresses what you're claiming is 2 second, but really extends into 14
Well, I was
seconds.
Well,
addressing
hopefully
that
not,
because it
in this
sounded
case.
like it was radio silence. And I was asking, is it common to have radio silence instead of hearing what is being recorded? And the one to be considered addresses exactly a 2 second gap where when you see it on your computer, it drops and comes back, the ball underneath it. And I asked specifically why there would be a gap taken out that has her in the back, in the video screaming, stop, stop, stop. Whereas the audio of the 911 has none of that. And then it comes back right with, oh my God, ma'am, he just pulled the trigger of my gun. It was a gap that had that part taken out. And when I asked the state about it, we brought it to the judge's
Yeah,
attention.
she's a twat
There should be
waffle.
transcripts of it.
I'm holding the this is the motion to reconsider bond after indictment. I'm holding it.
No, no.
I'm reading from this in front of Judge.
Why is she allowed to act like a C word all the time and nothing happens? I find this highly annoying, and I find it like she's just allowed to run this courtroom the way she wants.
Well, I don't like the way they record calls either. Was that what John Gary was saying? I don't know. It's just like with all this, like, oh, if they take a breath, it stops recording kind of crap. And it's like, yeah, but there could be something in the audio that you miss because the stupid AI or whatever is doing it, doesn't pick something up. We should have these like, because I agree what he's saying, because they're like, oh, it doesn't pick up the stop, stop, stop. But we clearly heard that in the guy's video.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, what they're testifying to, their system, they have the same problem you have with your Apple.
Yeah, it cuts you off.
Yeah, but they need a noise gate hitting a certain level at a consistent noise before it kicks in.
Yeah.
And that's why I always have to stop and say, sorry, come again, because it won't pick you up correctly.
Yeah.
And especially because what if it's a 911 call where you drop the phone while being dragged through the house?
And yeah, and you're screaming something that could be very relevant, but it's not picking it up.
Yeah, and it's yeah, it's yeah, I just feel it's very strange to have if someone calls in to 911, every second from the first to the last should be recorded.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be some cost measure that, oh, whenever there's something about 5 decibels, we'll record it. No.
Yeah.
Yo, Judge Maddie.
Hey, Judge Maddie. She's up there she's just ridiculous.
Yeah, and she's flailing her arms like, how can people be this stupid?
I know that people have their thoughts about these attorneys, but I do not. I mean, just my opinion.
Don't like her.
I don't like her.
No, I don't like her theatrics.
Malone, it's in July of 2019. That's the discussion about the 911 call.
And that was the motion to reconsider.
Alan was not present at that motion to reconsider. And I'm trying to pull up the case summary so I can get the exact date of it.
The only other motion to
Exactly.
reconsider, Judge, was a motion that I argued when she asked to have her ankle monitor removed. That's the only other. That's the only other hearing. But this is the motion because, as the counsel is pointing out in his opening of this motion, she'd already made the bond. She'd already started her life again, and then they indicted her and added charges. So this is the motion to reconsider. And the 911 call is discussed and very clearly explained. So his answer to that question, he's already been provided the answer to that question.
So there was a motion for reconsideration of bond briefing support July 29th, 2019. And then there was one July 1st, same thing, would have been emergency motion for reconsideration bond and briefing support thereof. So.
No,
The July.
I don't know if it's
I think that's when you would see it being filed.
the look in the
Hearing is
state
set
in,
for
of
on
Georgia,
July
but
12th.
they look
Sometimes
quite
there's a
similar.
delay in the filing and you're looking at CPUA.
Look at her doing her own research.
Yeah.
Well, they both have those RBFs. Yeah, the defendant and her, so they look very similar.
Maybe it's just a Karen RBF.
That motion to reconsider was denied, it seems, the 7th of August, 2019.
I don't think this judge want to do anything, and this prosecutor, she just wants to argue.
The answer to the question about the 911
Her cats
call,
were sassy
very
this
clearly
morning.
answered.
Mhm.
There's only
Good morning, Fast Group.
one witness who has testified to the foundation of the 911 call, and it was admitted without objection. So I think it's just too late. They already heard it. It's in evidence,
It's in evidence.
and it has no good faith basis and no.
And
foundation, no evidence in order to
Chamalaka,
argue
a gap
to the
allows for
jury.
guilt.
There's
Such
no good faith
audacity
basis.
over on Rumpel. Yeah, the
Your Honor, I have a good
audacity.
basis. If you would like to hear the 911 tape and look at the video, I can show you exactly where it cuts off. And you can hear, if you watch the video, you can see where the video
Yeah.
shows the part that's missing. And it
He's
comes
going
back
down the
in
right road, but he
with the
should be
man who just shot
better
himself and
prepared.
pulled the trigger of my gun. There's a gap, 2 seconds. And then there's 14 seconds of that video that should be there. So there's your good faith effort. Good faith basis. And that is what occurred, and that's what I argued on the motion. The latter part, you get a bond. And upon hearing it in court, the judge came to the conclusion that she would get a bond because it appeared like there was some kind of alteration of the 911. As for talking to the 911, Tim White, or the custodian, I was asking specifically why there was radio silence and why there was no one talking during that period of time that they're supposed to be telling her to chase. And then I asked about the other tape, and Mallory went through it methodically and said, these cannot be altered, but yet it appeared to be altered. And that was my argument. That was in front of Judge Malone, and that's what gave the basis for her to give a bond, which, like I said, was an extremely large bond since she'd already made one. And that was my understanding as she turned and said, okay, we're going to give her a bond, but it's going to be this amount.
Just keep your cats out of the Cheerios.
I
This
can't
is
do
illusion.
anything about it being submitted into evidence, but if there's some way to, upon the court's approval, explain that there is altercation, if we need to play for you to come to your conclusion of it, I have no problem with that.
And this court is not a finder of fact. The court can't find that there's alteration. There is no alteration. It has been explained. The only evidence before this court is that it can't be altered once it's saved on their system. And then his question about those quote unquote gaps are explained, because if there's not a high enough volume level, then it stops recording.
She didn't say
It's
that
been
in court.
explained. There is no mystery here. There is no conspiracy here. Nothing has been altered. There's no evidence of that. And it's in evidence, and we just need to deny what, I don't know what motion.
But
this
you're not
is, it's in-
presenting
they're
it
supposed to
properly.
as many times as they want to. And that's all there is about.
Like, I get that they didn't alter it, but it's not presented properly.
Can we play that specific portion?
Sure. I think we went through and tagged exactly where it was, and then, like I said, you can hear where there's a gap, and there's nothing to play. And then all of a sudden, it pops back up with her saying, ma'am, you just pulled the trigger of my gun. But if you hear where it stops, and you put the video where it stops and listen to the whole video, you'll see there's 14 seconds of that video, but there's only a 2-second gap. That's why I was asking you about Tim White, to find out when he was gonna be here, if he was gonna be here. He was the one that was the custodian, the head of it at that time, who would have to explain. So if the court would like to hear it, they can queue it up, we can queue it up to where it's at. And they
I want to know
compare
how much Aquanet.
and in the video,
She must have a
stop.
a weekly supply from Amazon.
At all. And you hear how loud she is, and you see where that phone is right there below her. You would think it would catch that audio, but it doesn't.
But there's an explanation that if it doesn't rise to the level where it can be recorded.
Yeah, but then you would hear the traffic sounds.
Here's what I'll do. If we can just quickly to play the video with the audio to see what it is that you're trying to establish, Attorney Tucker.
And Shamalaka, a gap is an alteration deliberated or not.
Ben is here.
Yeah, you don't get the entire picture.
Thank
That's
you,
for
Ben.
sure.
That's what I mean. They're not presenting.
And it doesn't make sense. We saw the phone on the picture. It's right next to her. And then she stops down. There would have been something saying pew pew when that gap happened. Why didn't it pick that one up? Because we can't hear that on the phone.
We heard it on the video the guy made, but not the phone.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. They're saying it will only above a certain. There would have been traffic sounds.
Yeah.
There would have been sounds of the struggle, and there would have been the pew pewing because her phone was right next to her on the floor.
We're gonna go to where the policies, I think, nothing in here.
Well, just something preceding that lets us know that there is a pause.
So, if you can go, ma'am. Ma'am.
And we believe it's this guy. That there's a radio silence, that you can hear her talking all the way up to it, and boom, it stops.
Ma'am.
Right there.
Yeah, when it does not up with
So I believe it's where that click was we heard.
when it does not up with
You're
the
clear.
phone video, that's the
Exactly.
problem.
And boom, you hear
Yeah.
man.
And I can't get the because there's the constant scuffling going on in the background. So why should it all of a sudden drop?
Yeah, she's yelling, "Get out of the car! Get out of the car!"
There's a video that corresponds.
We're gonna put it
Yeah.
on.
And then it just stops.
Yeah, and the phone wasn't covered because it fell on the ground, according to the video.
So at 3:49 in the recording, we were click, and then boom, all of a sudden you hear, man. Yeah, that goes to the video.
Yeah, I think she's his paralegal in this case.
And
Oh, now we're seeing the video. We didn't see that the other day.
He plays it.
Oh, good.
I think someone said one white.
He just pulled the trigger. So back one more time. So part of this is yours to stop.
Oh, she had the gun. Iris was correct. She had the gun out.
She did.
Iris is always correct. I should know better.
15 seconds. And it was a 2-second gap that appeared to have a click, and then just her coming back screaming name. You don't hear any of the stop, stop, stop. That was a concern what we raised.
Oh, yeah, that's a little problem that they leave that part out.
The ADA that was handling it there, once again, she was not as familiar with the case because Fowler just left. But that was one of the bases we brought up, that she agreed with us and told the judge. The judge watched it, listened to it, and then issued the bond.
Yeah, how did it get into his stomach? That's part I don't understand.
That was perhaps a bond issue. The court does find that the tape has not been altered. There has been a witness here that has said that what was presented was not altered. The court believes that witness's
Overruled.
testimony. I'm not sure what you're trying to establish.
How do you
with
not
respect
see
to
it,
the
ma'am?
video and the audio, but there has been an explanation that was read with a transcript where they're saying when there is no activity to be recorded or it doesn't rise to the level that it can be recorded, then there would be silence, and so the court finds that it.
You see the
has
video, it
already
doesn't make sense
been
that it wouldn't
published to
record.
the jurors.
Exactly. So it's not a
Because
full
there
picture.
should have been a loud boom at that
The
time.
court finds that the objection at this time is untimely, but that there's not necessarily a foundation.
I would say
for
the
court
audacity
to
of those
find that
facial.
it should be republished to the jurors at this time, so it will be republished.
Well, her hand couldn't have been all the way outside the window if he was shot on the right side. Unless it was-
Changed, it would have
No.
been somebody above her who had the custodian of it, and asked, would that be Tim White? And she said Tim White was her boss, would have been in that position. I do have Tim White under subpoena, and I guess we'll address it then.
Okay, all right, if you determine that you need to call Tim White, then certainly the court will.
I don't like
allow
this
you to do
judge.
so.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Attorney Tucker. Okay, anything further that I need to address?
Nothing from the state, sir.
Okay, anything further, Attorney Tucker?
That's the defense, right?
Okay, thank you.
Scott asked, did the decedent grab the gun? Well, they
We
did-
don't know.
Well, we don't know, but the only thing they gave us was male DNA on the slide of the gun.
Yeah.
And where he was shot at was the right. It was the right to the left.
Yeah,
So
right to left in the abdomen.
Yeah.
Which
So-
for me, I still can't figure out because she has it clearly in her right. So he must have been turned completely around like this. This is the steering wheel. But then still, she shoots him right to left.
So to me,
When she's right-handed, her hand would be, it's. I don't. We know she did it, but we don't know if it was legal for her to do it.
yeah, it's just the position of everything.
And if anyone was waiting to go over and watch Nicholas's case, one of the defendants were air-raided yesterday in prison, so it's on hold again. That case will never end.
Nope. Oh yeah,
She's going to jail. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's going to jail.
I mean, I feel
But-
like she should, but I'm just not. All of the charges don't add up for me.
No, it's way too tough.
It's a life sentence without parole. I mean, that to me is crazy.
Yeah.
may be seated. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I hope you're all well today. Happy.
New mask.
All right, Ms. Jackson, are you able to remove your mask? I am. Thank you. Could you raise
Yeah, a
your right
little
hand?
stippity step.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you will provide to this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and
Hey,
nothing but
Dennis
the truth,
Eden,
so help
thank you for
God?
the advice with
All right,
my
you can have a
Christmas
seat and
story.
pull yourself up to the microphone.
And old line red, hey.
Hi, old line.
All right, will you please state and spell your name for the record?
It's Ashley Jackson, ASHLEY JACKSON.
And Ms. Jackson, are you a resident of Clayton County?
I am
And how long have you been a resident of Clayton County?
all my life.
All right, and are you familiar with the area of Forest Parkway at the intersection of Riverdale Road?
I am.
Hey, Nando's man, buddy.
Now, is that location in Clayton County?
It is.
And were you in the area of Forest Parkway and Riverdale Road on May 7, 2019?
I was.
And why were you in that area that day?
I was getting off work.
Okay, and about what time would that have been?
A little bit after 6 p.m.
Hey, Bobby.
Now, where do you work? Like, actually, where is it located? Where would you have been coming from that day?
Atlanta South Parkway.
And is that connected to Forest Parkway?
It is.
Now, can you explain what happened as you turned off of Atlanta South Parkway onto Forest Parkway on May 7, 2019?
Was getting off work. As I was approaching Forest Parkway, I was making a left off Atlanta South Parkway. As I was making my left and getting into the far right lane, Miss Hannah was coming up Forest Parkway. She was coming from the end off of Highway 85, and she almost ran me off the road. She was speeding. She was going very fast. When she almost ran me off the road, my coworker actually called me and was like, "That car almost ran you off the road." And I said, "Yeah, she's probably going to cause an accident." So I proceeded up
Another witness
Forest Parkway.
starting out.
She was weaving in and out of traffic. Once I got towards Riverdale Road, I saw Miss Payne had caused the accident.
Now, when you say she was weaving in and out of traffic, were you the only car that she almost ran off the road?
The right lane really didn't even have any cars in that lane, but she was still going like left, right, making other cars hit their brakes.
Did she ram into a semi and run from the scene though?
Now,
Have we heard any of this before?
No. Now this is new information.
Yeah, she was driving like a maniac. That's.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure she's going to jail, and I'm pretty sure that she did some stupid stuff. But you don't have to elaborate and make up all these. Again, it feels like someone want a specific outcome of their testimony.
yeah, it feels very fantastical of a story. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like every witness is getting more and more elaborate with what happened. You know?
Yeah, I don't like those long fingernails. I think they're nasty. So that's my as a sort of a man.
Yeah, like how far away? What? Okay, guys, the truck. They did testify. He ran a red light and hit a semi. It was clear. Everyone saw it. They called 911. He left the scene for no reason. No one knows why. And like, if she's having to speed around all these cars, like, what is he doing? Exactly.
Yeah.
What is he doing then? When he's got a busted car that everyone testified to, they didn't think he could even drive it because it was leaking fluid. Like, think about that too.
Yeah, and he was parked in the side lane when she flew over the divider and just landed straight in front of her. It sounds like an action movie.
I know it does. Like, that's what I'm picturing is like Speed or something. Like,
Yeah, but Bob, he didn't leave 5 minutes before. He left.
yelling left on the phone and yelling at her, and she sounds like she immediately got in her car and took off.
Yeah, so she might have left maximum half a minute later.
So that's why I'm like trying to put two and two together. Like her story is just a little embellished to me.
Yeah, and that's why keep it. It's bad enough as it is. You don't have to put it on. So
What happened sucked.
As you got closer to Riverdale Road, when you said you saw that she caused an accident, can you explain to the jury what you actually saw?
As I got to Riverdale Road, traffic was everywhere. Well, traffic was stopped. It was just one of those days that it was just very busy. There was already something going on at the highway. People were out walking all over the place. And she had maneuvered her car in front of another vehicle and stopped them and caused the scene.
Now, do you recall if they actually collided at the point that you saw?
I don't really believe they actually collided. I'm not sure. I don't want to say something that I didn't see.
wow.
And once you saw the defendant's vehicle cornering the other vehicle, what did you, if anything, did you see her do?
I saw her at the driver's side door of the vehicle, yelling obscenities for the man to get out the car.
Yeah, and this is the second witness who says traffic stood completely still. And then we have the guy with the video calmly driving past while it happens.
Yeah, and there's like nobody.
Yeah, it might have slowed down because there's an accident further up the road. We know that. That's why police was a bit late to respond. But he's just driving past in what I would call slow speed. I wouldn't say backed up traffic.
Yeah.
It looks like she was trying to fight him through the window.
And what was her demeanor at this time?
Very aggressive. Very aggressive.
And what made you kind of stop at that time?
Yeah, I just think they
Because
just
she was yelling,
put the butter on a little
get out
too
of the car,
thick.
MFer.
Yeah.
Like banging at him like this, like get out of the car. So it was the big scene.
Now, do you recall if the victim's window was up or down at that time?
I want to say his window was down. I can't recall if it was all the way down, but it was down. And she was like trying to fight him through the window.
And when you say she was trying to fight him through the window, what did you actually see?
I just saw her hands moving, get out of the car, motherfucker, doing all this. I never saw anyone's hands come out of the window per se, but I did see her at the window.
And could you see anything that the victim was doing inside of the vehicle at that time?
I couldn't see anything he was doing inside the vehicle. I never saw his hands come out of the vehicle.
That's why, as Wendy said, never trust an eyewitness completely. We have the video. We saw
now
kind of what
after
happened.
You observed her hands moving.
And today we saw
and
parts
telling
of the video.
victim to get out of the vehicle. What, if anything else, did you see?
Her pull a gun. After she pulled the gun, she shot him and she said, "Now you need an ambulance."
She said what?
Now, when she pulled the gun,
now you need
when
an
did
ambulance.
you hear the shot?
Immediately.
So she pulled it and shot.
Yeah.
How did she shoot him in the right side then of his stomach?
Now, were you able to observe any of the
it doesn't
victim's
match up
during
with the
entire
video
incident?
either.
No.
And do you see the person who shot the victim in the courtroom today?
I do.
Can you identify them by an article of clothing they are wearing and identify where they're sitting in the courtroom?
She's sitting directly in front of me wearing a blue shirt.
Let the record reflect that the witnesses identified the defendant in open court. Now, did you know the defendant prior to the incident?
No.
And did you know the victim prior to this incident?
No.
Now, after the victim was shot, what happened?
He just laid back in his seat. His eyes went white. He just laid back.
How do you know his eyes went
She
white?
stood back. I think everybody ran towards her. I think I even came towards her and I was like, "Oh my God, you shot him." Somebody else waved down a police officer. He was already at exit. The officer came running up. He said, "What happened? Who shot?" She tried to say that he grabbed her gun, but everyone immediately said, "No, that's not true," because that's not true. The man never grabbed her gun.
How do you
And he put her
know?
in handcuffs.
Now, what was the defendant's demeanor immediately after the victim was shot?
She had no remorse. She was just like, she was thugged out.
She was
She had
thugged
no
out?
remorse at all.
Thugged
She
out.
was so
Was she thugged out?
Thugged out. That's what she said.
So she was just
Yeah,
waving
she
a gun around, yelling,
like, yeah,
what?
that's what she means. It like,
Yeah, now you need an ambulance. What are you gonna, what? What?
we didn't see what I'm saying? Why are we embellishing all of this? Just say what you saw. Don't start putting your little.
No, she knows thuggery. So she
I know,
knows when
I'm just
someone
saying,
is thugged
you're
out.
adding in all these little things. Like, just say what you saw.
Yeah.
And did she get out of the? Is she saying she got out of the car and ran up to him? Because to say like I saw his eyes go white and all this stuff. How close was she? Like,
She was just standing like this, and she yelling "World Star." So she didn't go near her, but she could clearly see it.
yeah, even though she said she couldn't see the man at all in the car, so she doesn't know what's going on in the car. But then she saw his eyes go white, so I'm just confused.
Well, I won't say anything about anything because that would be racial to talk about eyes.
No, just saying.
right in that moment. She felt like she had done something.
Now, did you ever see the defendant attempt to render any aid to the victim?
Not at all.
You do have to be careful because you question somebody the wrong way, the jury is going to feel a certain way about you, unfortunately. So you have to.
Jack, my name's Matt, I'm the attorney for this thing. I've got a few questions to ask. You stated that you were coming home from work. Is that an accurate diagram of where it occurred in front of you?
He's trying to get it.
Yes.
Okay, could you show me where you saw the accident happen and where you were positioned?
I was coming from this way.
Mm-hmm. And which way were you turning?
I was going to make this is McDonald's. I was going to make a turn this way, go down this road.
Had you already?
Down this road.
I saw the accident here. I ended up being back here.
She's on the completely other side. Is that what she's saying?
So sorry, what is she saying? I saw the accident here,
Yeah,
and I ended up here. Then she saw
I said she
absolutely.
was going down the other way.
Yeah, she's saying she's going this way, but she said, "I saw the accident. The accident here, and I ended up here." But we know the accident happened like this, with Hannah here, the decedent here, and now, if I understand her correctly, she's down here. How did she see his eyes roll back and her yelling "World Star"?
I don't know. See,
Because again, it doesn't make any sense that, and it's the same with the first witness he had. She was sitting up here when it happened, but could clearly see everything, even though there was a truck here. Again, don't over elaborate because it makes you look untrustworthy.
Okay. And so how far would you say you were from the accident?
I was literally right there. I had pulled my vehicle around another car so I could get a good glimpse because I was trying to record it, but it happened so fast I couldn't even record it.
And you stated you were right there beside him on the left side of it, on the right side.
go point it out. Make sure everybody knows. I
I
don't
wasn't
think,
right there beside them, but I was right there. I wouldn't say I was right there beside them.
Yes, ma'am.
This is where I, as a defense lawyer, I would have brought in 3 post-its with a car drawn on and put it up and
Yeah.
said, "Is this where you say you were? Could you please move it and position your car?" And then this is where the accident. How did you see his eyes from this position?
yeah, where were you at? She said
Yeah,
she
she
pulled
just said,
right
"I'm
up.
right there."
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. A little stick figure. That's again. You don't need much more than I use for my wall of fame. If you just brought up this intersection, made it on this tape, and then you go and you say, "This paper is you. Place yourself. Where did you? Well, I was here. Okay, but the other ones were here and here. How did you see it?" Because visual stuff works.
Yes.
These are pictures of the accident that have already been put into evidence.
Okay.
Okay, so as you see that, and where
Oh, Haiti, you didn't have to.
in relation.
Thank you
to
so much
that
for going
position.
on the Wall of Fame.
I had to be probably back here a little bit somewhere. I had pulled my vehicle over this way so I could see.
And I'm gonna put one on the screen.
Okay. Probably right up in here somewhere I pulled my vehicle.
Thank you so much, Haley, for supporting the Wall of Fame.
Oh, okay.
Would that other picture be a better picture? That shows more of the road.
My vehicle is over here somewhere by this white line. I pulled my vehicle over here.
Yeah, I think the jurors are placed right in front of her.
Okay, if you could, you see on your screen,
Hey, Stace,
Alright.
welcome.
you should have the capability to circle and a color will come up. Can you circle where you were?
Over in this area right here, over here.
So she was all the way back
So
there.
you were
How were
coming
you going to
off
see?
of Riverdale Road.
Why is she in the right turn lane when she's going left?
Yeah.
And if it's because she saw it happen and she just said it happened so fast, it was over. I couldn't see and hear anything. How did she react and get there?
Road or Forest Parkway?
Exactly, Mr. McParkinson. And Wendy H. gifted 5 memberships. Sue got one, Onbrost, Aussie Laura, Judge Maddie, Alexia, Muted, and Boomer. It's been a while since we've seen Boomer.
Hi, Boomer. Oh.
Thank you so much, Wendy, for gifting the memberships.
Okay. And you see the diagram there that shows the road. So you were behind them. You were behind the red truck.
I was one or two cars behind the red truck. When I saw the accident, I pulled over that
You're on
way.
the
I
wall.
pulled my vehicle up this way so
Wendy's
I could see traffic.
So when you pulled, did you kind of pull on the sidewalk or to the side of it?
I pulled where I circled it. I pulled over that area.
Okay, so you
Be
were
Merry
closer to the
Christmas.
median.
I pulled right there where I circled it.
Okay, ma'am, if you look at the other picture, do you see a median?
I do see a median. So
Okay.
that's where I pulled it. I pulled over that way
Okay,
so I could get a better look. I was trying to record, but I couldn't get my camera open fast enough because it happened so fast.
All right, Brett.
okay.
Exactly.
So you pulled over there on the other side of the truck or the Jeep. Was there any traffic or anything stopping anybody from going that angle? To pull up?
Traffic was stopped. There was a traffic jam. There was something going on at the highway. Nobody was barely moving. It was a little traffic moving, but nobody was barely moving.
Okay. And you said that she was cutting in and out of traffic.
Coming
think
up Forest
that's-
Parkway.
Okay. And you said that
I don't know if it's her picture.
she cut one of your coworkers off. And that coworker.
No, she almost ran me off the road, and my coworker was behind me, and she called me and she said, "Dang, that car almost ran you off the road." And I said, "Yeah,
So,
she probably gonna cause an accident."
so you had
Yeah,
time to
ma'am.
take a phone
Do you
call?
recall having a
Yeah, and talk about her causing an accident,
meeting
and then
with the detectives on this matter?
I did come in for an interview.
Okay. And in that interview, do you recall speaking with the detectives?
Yep.
Okay. And in that interview, do you recall telling them about the incident as you just described right there?
Yes.
Okay. And in this interview, to the best of your knowledge, do you recall telling them that
what do you have?
he almost ran my coworker off and never once mentioned that he almost ran
Uh-oh.
you off the road?
That's not true.
That's not true. Okay.
I said she almost ran me off the road because that's what happened.
Oh. Better have
So the
the
popo got it wrong. Why haven't you made all of this stuff ready to go? Why is she rummaging in your bag?
Exactly. Come on now.
You know the witness list. Put the post-its on the witness list.
And you
And-
went second, so you could have that stuff ready to go while she was.
Yeah. Yeah, she is the paralegal. That's well, it's a cost-saving method. Oh, he forgot it.
Sometimes he is.
No, he gave it to the clerk.
Oh.
Why? What? I don't like that silver blouse. It's not right for court.
Look at her face. Did you even look at him?
What I hold here is the transcripts of your interview with the detectives. If you could look at that to refresh your memory of what was said that day. And particularly what I'm asking, and you have, please take your time to look at whatever you want to with that, but I'm particularly looking at page number 3.
Page number 3.
Yes, ma'am. It is where Detective Chapman is saying, is she coming from behind you?
That's not what page 3 says.
Did you have
She's out on
did you have
bail.
more than one interview
No.
with the detectives?
Well, get her. Come on.
Yeah, impeach her with prior knowledge. Or did you mess up and because then you look stupid?
Let me approach your honor.
Oh God, what is happening?
Okay.
If I could bring your attention to where it says, so she came from behind. I didn't even see her coming, okay? And Detective Chapman says, sure. He said, one of my coworkers.
Oh, hold on a second.
So if you didn't even see her coming, how'd you see her
Okay.
bobbing and weaving out of traffic?
Okay.
And it says one of my coworkers who was pulling.
Can you
up behind
please
me,
use
she
the
said,
mic?
"Dang, that car almost ran me off the road." And you said, "Yeah, that crazy bitch is gonna cause an accident." You recall saying that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall saying, and you can look to refresh your memory, that you said that she almost ran you off the road, or did you use the comment that your friend said, your coworker?
My coworker called me and she said, "Dang, that car almost ran you off the road." And I said, "Yes, that crazy bitch is gonna cause an accident."
Now, can you look at the statement I was saying right there where it says Ashley Jackson says, one of my coworkers,
Yeah, sorry, I
she was
forgot to
pulling up
put
behind
the
me and she
boost on.
called me and says, "Dang, that car almost ran her off the road." Not you, her. Is that correct?
I said what I said. I'm not sure why it says her, but when I said it, I was speaking in third person. Like my coworker's calling me saying, "Dang, that car almost ran you off the road." So I'm not sure why it's typed that way.
So you're saying whoever listened
It's
to
the
this
popo.
audio
They
of
always
your
make stuff up.
interview inadvertently put
Don't talk too
her instead of you?
Could have been.
No, because
Okay.
it's
And you
prior
do
testament.
recall saying, "Yeah, the crazy bitch is going to cause an accident."
Yes.
Okay. So at that time, you had decided because of her driving that she was a crazy bitch, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And
Pretty much.
okay. And you didn't know what was going on. You didn't know why she was driving that way. You just assessed that that's who she is based on that driving.
She was speeding up the road and she almost ran me off the road. So that's someone's natural reaction. So I'm not judging her per se because I don't know her, but that's someone's natural reaction when someone almost runs you off the road. You like, "Dang."
Do you know what I love in a courtroom?
Yeah.
Witnesses using big words they clearly don't use normally. It's like the Bradley Yawn case all over again. Per se. You haven't said per se one day in your life before this.
Yeah.
Just like Bradley Yawn never told tales as tall as he told them that day.
Hey. So yes, that is my comment. That's what I said at the time.
Now you said there was
Quietly.
traffic everywhere. Everybody was stopped and it was real slow, correct?
Once we got to Riverdale Road, it was stopped. But while we were traveling to Forest Parkway, the traffic was not stopped. We were still moving.
Okay. So it's fair to say that there were still cars moving and that cars could go around that accident either to the right or to the left, correct?
On Forest Parkway,
Yes, ma'am.
once you got to Riverdale Road, you really couldn't go because there was traffic. So you had to wait.
So how is she weaving in and out and going past you if it was traffic stopped right up there?
So Atlanta South Parkway and Riverdale Road are a little ways from each other. So she was weaving through traffic going up Forest Parkway. Once we got to Riverdale Road, that's when traffic was stopped.
And could you show me on that diagram that's right there? You can stand up and show it, please.
What do you want me to show you?
Show you the direction of your travel and the direction of her travel.
We were coming from here, going towards here. This is where traffic was stopped because the highway is, I think this is the highway maybe. I'm not sure. Wherever the highway is, there was a incident. Like I said, the police officer was already on the scene. So traffic was very heavy here in this area. Nobody was really moving. But coming up Forest Parkway, we were able to move.
Okay. And so you're coming this direction, correct? Down that road, as you said.
Correct.
Okay. And the accident was where? You said was.
The accident was in here. The accident was in this area.
Okay. So as you see that turn lane right there, he appears to be turning right on to Riverdale Road, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And you're saying she came around and cut him off up there where he appears to be turning right, correct?
That's correct. You see how her
And
vehicle
you were
is?
turning left, correct?
I was going to turn left, but when I saw the incident, I got behind them because I wanted to see what was going on.
So you're behind them and you're saying you're at the meeting, correct?
So there was maybe 1 or 2 cars in front of me initially, but once I saw what was going on, I pulled my vehicle over because I wanted to see. I was trying to record.
All right, and
I didn't know all that was gonna happen.
what happened to the 1 or 2 cars that were in front of you?
They still were there. I moved my car out. Like I told you, I pulled my vehicle out so I could get a better view.
Porky Beans. Yeah, well, she's sticking to her story. You have to give her that.
Yeah. It's just
They were over that way.
Maybe if you could use the screen, you could mark
They
it.
were over this way. They were over here.
Okay.
I pulled my vehicle out.
So it's fair to say that where they were at, it was clear they could pull up there, or they could keep going past it, or get around that.
Nobody could go once she did that.
Excuse me?
Nobody could move in that lane once she did that.
Okay, in that lane. But was the area, you see where a walkway and all that area is it fair to say that that was clear? They could have drove around the vehicles?
On the sidewalk?
Yes, ma'am.
Who was driving on the sidewalk?
I'm asking, is it possible they could have gone around the traffic, around that, on the sidewalk? Was it clear?
Who was driving on the sidewalk?
Ma'am, I'm asking you a question. I'm not here to answer.
I'm not going to say somebody was going to drive on the sidewalk. I'm not understanding why
All right, I'm
somebody would
asking
be
you a
driving on the sidewalk.
clear question. Is it possible for somebody to have gone up on that sidewalk and drove around the accident? Whether you would do it or not, was it possible?
I'm not sure.
Okay. And you said those 2 cars pulled over there.
Those 2 cars were, it was 1 or 2 cars over here. I pulled my car out at an angle so I could see.
And that would be at the kind of the top of the area.
Kind of where I circled it over here. That's where I pulled my car over in that area.
But on this, you're saying that they're turning right, going upward, correct? Following that flow of the diagram.
What are you asking?
The only thing she stated differently in her original interview with the police was that the coworker told her that she almost ran the coworker off the road, but she now says it's because it's taken down differently and she meant her. So she's sticking to her story, and at least she's sticking to her story. She's not changing it.
According to your statement, you're saying they're going this way, going this way, correct?
That's where the accident happened.
Okay, so they're going this way. And you say you pull over here at the meeting, and they're right there, correct?
Pull over this way, right over here, so I can record.
So right in this area here.
Show us.
So wherever this is right here, I pulled right here.
Okay. And you
That's
said
not-
you got on the meeting, you went reaching for your phone, correct?
I was still looking. I was trying to fumble with my phone like this, but I could never get my recorder out. I mean, get my camera to come on. It happened so fast.
And this is why you were talking to your coworker on the phone, correct?
Nope. I was talking to my coworker on the phone back on Forest Parkway when I first pulled out. When I got to this point, me and my coworker were not on the phone. I was trying to, I was looking. I was trying not to miss anything. I was trying to hurry up and get my camera to come on, but I could never get my camera to come on because it happened so fast.
All right. And do you recall looking down further where the Detective Chapman said, right? Would you have said the same thing? And you said, right. So there's no cars in this lane, but there's cars in this lane. Okay, which lane are you talking about?
So in the right lane on Forest Parkway, there were barely any cars, but in the left lane, like she could have just went up that lane, but like I said, there were cars in the left lane. She kept weaving through traffic. That's why I said that.
All right. So where she's parked right there, it appears she's come over into that lane, you said the right lane, correct?
Okay, so when I turned off of Atlanta South Parkway, it's further ways from Riverdale Road. So she didn't have to weave in and out of traffic. That's what I'm saying. She kept weaving in and out of traffic. There was no need for her to do that. She could have stayed in the right lane.
All right. And as you said, she's weaving in and out of traffic.
Yep.
Was she in that turn lane or was she in the lane going straight?
She was out my sight by that time. By the time I got down to Riverdale Road, she had already caused a little accident and was out at his window. So that's when I saw her when she was out at his window.
Okay. So you didn't see that maneuver or whatever they're saying. You didn't see the Jeep pull in front.
No, I
Or
didn't.
you
I
didn't
didn't see
see
how she maneuvered and landed in front of him. I just knew that that's what she did. By the time I got to Riverdale Road, she was already at his window, fighting him and doing all that.
So you don't know if another car caused her to go into that direction. You just presume because she was a crazy bitch driver that she did that, correct?
Nobody caused her to go into that vehicle.
But you said you didn't see it.
No, I didn't see it
So why are you so certain that nobody caused her to do that?
because nobody else was on the scene.
Okay.
Nobody else was in an accident. Nobody else was in an accident.
All right. So you're saying that the red truck hit her car?
It's not what I'm saying.
Okay. What are you saying?
She was, listen, I don't know how they collided, so I never said anything about that. So I don't want to answer any questions about that because I never said how they collided. When I got to Riverdale Road, that was the scene.
Okay.
And I saw her at his driver's side window fighting him and cursing.
All right. So you never saw her exit the Jeep and anything that occurred, you only saw her at the window, as you said, banging on the window or banging on the truck, correct?
She was banging at the window. I thought she was banging at the window at first, but then I realized she was like attacking him through the window.
Okay. And you said attacking him from the window. So the angle you have, if she's at the window, you can't see who's inside the truck, correct? Is that fair to say?
No, I could clearly see.
You could clearly see who's in the window at the angle you were at.
My problem with this testimony is she couldn't clearly see, and she couldn't see banging on the window.
That's my problem.
I don't think she's lying. I just, as the first witness, think she had followed the news and it had created memories, which happened because human brains fill out gaps. And that's my problem with her testimony, because the banging on the window, she couldn't have seen from behind. She would never be able to see the guy other than the back part of him if she's parked behind him.
Yeah, if she's parked behind, she's not going to see this man. She's not going to see what's going on. That's what I'm saying is like, I don't think she's like, she wasn't telling I think she's just embellishing parts of the story too much. And she is putting a little bit of her own opinion in there, even though she's arguing with him that she never said that, but she's implying her own opinion of what she thinks happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm
and I won't say that is lying. It's just, as I say, the human brain really likes to make puzzles fit together. And I think that's what's happening here. She's been listening to the news for 3 years, and at some point it just shapes. It's the same if you have a friend telling you a story, what happened at one night you were out drinking together. You can believe what happened to him happened to you. It's not because you're lying. It's because you might fill up the gap.
Yeah, you start to believe it. And a lot of it too is like all these witnesses have like different really different variations of what was going on.
Yeah.
And I mean, not to sound bad, but people like to be part of this sort of stuff, you know? And maybe she's trying to embellish a little bit because I don't know. But it's his job to like poke at her story and make her react. So this is what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, and I can see a lot of people. Some people are saying that they don't like the questioning and they don't like the way. Remember, his job is to make each and every witness seem as uncredible as possible.
Exactly.
You might not like it, but that is his role. The same as in some cases, it's the defense, it's the state's obligation to make someone look as guilty as possible. So he's staying calm. She's getting a little heated under the collar. It might work. It might not work. I don't know.
Yeah.
I could clearly see.
And you were in the driver's side of the vehicle that you pulled over in that meeting, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and from that angle, with her standing at the window, you could see who was in the vehicle and what was going on.
I could see her at the vehicle. Her arms were moving like this. Get out of the car, MF her. She pulled the gun out and shot him. I could
Okay.
clearly see.
And you are positive she was saying MF.
Very positive.
Okay. It wasn't saying anything else, but positive that the curse word you heard was MF.
Yes, she was saying get out of the car, and then she shot him, and then she said, "Now you need an ambulance."
All right, and you said that she shot him. How did she shoot him? Did you see the shot?
I saw her pull out the gun and shoot him.
So
Oh,
she
sorry.
pulled out a gun and pow, shot him.
Yes, in the midst of the situation she had going on, she pulled out the gun and shot him.
That doesn't add up to me.
No, we have the video showing a different.
And we have the
instance.
emitter screen where he was shot at. So
Yeah.
close range and right to left. So
KLI, hey Huddy, just in case you don't get to buy me a coffee while I'm in Texas. Well, I don't know if I'm in Texas. Is Texas far from Tennessee? Because so far I'm only in Tennessee, apparently. I haven't bought the tickets yet. Now my internet is dropping.
everything seems far to me. So I'm not a good judge of character on that. Town
But
is
yeah, I'm my internet just dropped again. But thank you so much, KLI, and let's see if I make it all the way to Texas. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting trip.
yeah, it
She
doesn't.
pulled out the gun when she.
Every time I started, you just start talking.
No, I was just reading a comment. I was like, it just doesn't. While you were doing that, I figured I'd make my 2 cents. I was-
Outside the vehicle when she pulled out the gun?
Yes, she was at his driver's side
And
door.
then she shot outside the car or
Yeah.
the truck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
That's-
so your testimony is that you pull up to the median, stop. From that angle, 2 cars are in front of you that move out of your way. So
Those cars never moved out of my way. I pulled my car out to the side, like I said, to get a better view so I could record.
And you said the other 2 cars pulled over to the side, correct?
I never said those cars moved.
You just drew a line up there, man.
I said those cars were already right there. I
Okay.
never said those cars moved.
But they were in front of you at one point.
They were, and I pulled my car to the side.
Okay. So you pull your car to the side to see it. You're grabbing your phone, trying to figure out how to record, correct?
That's correct.
And during this process of trying to figure out how to record, you're watching her and seeing the individual inside that truck.
I watched her the whole time. I was trying to like move my fingers by memory. I could never get my camera to open. It happened so fast.
Okay. But during that period of time, you're trying to get your phone to do a recording. You're looking. I'm
He needs to go over
Your
her
response.
story.
Your Honor, she is not giving a definite answer of, and my question would be, if I could finish it, would. Okay, I have not finished my question, Your Honor. I was going to talk about the face she said she thought she saw, and I was going to ask what was the demeanor of the individual inside the truck.
Okay, I'm going to sustain the objection.
Why?
She's
Of
asked-
course.
She
Why?
has been asked. She's answered the same question
No.
several
Not
times.
answering.
Now you can move on to your next question, but she has answered.
And I
No.
would respectfully request the court. I never asked what the demeanor of the driver's face was. She never answered that.
Next question.
Okay. What was the demeanor of the person inside the truck face?
I never really saw his face until afterwards. And so after she had shot him and everybody was out the car, everybody was trying to see if he was okay. That's the only time I really saw up close of his face.
Okay, and then when you stated that you remember hearing her say a comment of now you need an ambulance.
Correct.
Okay, was that before or after she was on the phone with 911 requesting an ambulance?
I never saw her call 911 for an ambulance. When she shot him, she said, now you need an ambulance.
Okay, and so after she shot him, you said she walked away and did not pick up a phone?
She never walked away.
Okay, did she pick up a phone?
I don't recall her picking up a phone.
And
And I never said that in my statement.
Ma'am, I'm asking you from your memory and seeing what you.
I don't recall her walking away and picking up a phone.
Okay. Do you recall her calling or talking or overhearing her say?
I do not recall her picking up a phone to call an ambulance.
So it's fair to say that
Yeah.
when the incident occurred and everybody is stepping up to see what's going on as the congregation gets around the truck right there, you're telling me you didn't hear her make any other comments besides now he needs an ambulance?
After she shot him, she said, now you need an ambulance. She was
And-
talking to him. She wasn't talking to, she was fighting with him. And I felt like she couldn't handle him the way she wanted to handle him. So she pulled.
Sorry.
This is pure speculation.
I felt like, no.
Yeah. Well, I think she's trying to tell her story. Yeah. My problem with this is now she is allowed to speculate what another person felt like when she did what she did, and the judge should cut it down here, and the judge should stop her every time she overspeaks the lawyer. Say, "Ma'am, please wait till you finish asking the question."
Exactly. And
But
we
I
know
don't like this judge. She is really, really partisan.
she really is.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for when she says, and then she yelled "World Star."
Yeah. Because when she's saying she just shot him outside of the car, that doesn't make any sense at all. Not the
No.
medical evidence that we got.
Yeah. But again, that's for the defense to tie in the end and say, you can clearly don't trust this witness because
Yeah, and he's
the
trying to
evidence will
the
show.
story. And the judge is shutting him down, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
Your Honor, I
gun,
object
and she shot
her
him.
making comments of what she thought. That's speculation.
Okay.
Okay, so don't comment about what you thought, just respond to his questions.
Okay.
Okay. Now, you stated that in your testimony, if you want to go to page 7 to refresh your memory. If you look below where Detective Chapman says,
Mm-hmm.
your comments were, she said nothing. The police officer finally came from the exit. And he was like, who shot who? Everybody's like, she shot him. And the first thing she said is, I didn't even have my finger on the trigger, but he reached for my gun, but I never saw his hands come out the window.
That's correct.
Okay. So you're stating that you overheard her say, I didn't have my finger on the trigger, but you're saying you never saw his hands come out the window, correct?
That's correct.
And she was outside the window shooting at him, correct? That's what you said?
That's correct.
And
That's,
another guy was like, hey, I got it recorded, correct? You remember that?
Somebody did. I think somebody did say that.
Did you ever get to see that recording?
No.
And basically you were in the crowd that everybody was saying she shot him?
Yeah, when the police officer came up from the exit, he asked what happened. She tried to say that that she didn't pull the trigger. He was trying to pull her gun, but I never saw him do that.
Okay. And do you recall, if you can go to page 10, do you recall saying that she pulled that gun out and shot him immediately? And the detective said, she was pissed. She was so pissed, like she was mad as hell.
That's correct.
Okay. So you're saying that she pulled the gun, pow, immediately shot.
She did.
And that's what you saw from the angle you were at right there at the median, correct?
Correct.
All right. Did you ever move your car from that median?
After the whole scene was over with, yes.
Okay. And where did you pull your car to?
I really can't remember.
And you stated on page 12 of your testimony to the detective, you said, I did see the gun outside the window when it was
I
fired.
haven't had any
The
testimony
detective said,
about
did you see the
that.
gun outside the window when it was fired? And you said, yes, I could see it. I could see her shooting the gun.
Yes.
And earlier you said that thing you didn't see her shoot the gun.
It's not what I said.
In your testimony, we were having just a few, when the state was asking you a question, you don't recall saying that I didn't see her shoot the gun?
I saw her shoot the gun.
And now she's becoming a little too.
And did you write a statement on that day?
I did.
Yeah. See, she's starting to get. It's not starting
Yeah,
to make.
her testimony is now inconsistent with her testimony. Yeah, that's a little problem. But I am rescinding my previous answer.
And from what we've seen from the medical evidence, her shooting him outside of the car doesn't make sense to me.
No.
I hope they're catching on to this because this is a big deal. Because these are the witnesses that are supposed to put her away for life.
Well, I think the video will pull her away from life.
Yeah.
Put
Okay,
her
correct,
away
Your Honor.
for life.
If you could look at that document there and tell me, does that appear to be a true and accurate representation of the document you wrote that day?
Yes.
Is that your signature there at the bottom?
Yes.
This time, Your Honor, I'd like to tender
I believe
defense exhibit
two
number
white.
38.
The rest, no.
And now, I may approach.
Yeah, it's better to say no. I don't remember that, or oh, I misremember that.
Ever
today.
saying that you saw her shoot him outside the car, outside the truck?
That's where she shot him at.
Okay. And you said that she jumped out screaming and punching the victim, correct?
So she was outside of her car fighting the man at the window.
But in your statement to the police, you said she jumped out of her vehicle.
I said she jumped in front of the victim's vehicle causing the accident.
And then what does it say after that?
She jumped out screaming, punching the victim. She pulled a gun and shot him. She was not even remorseful.
Okay. Now, you stated earlier that you did not see her get out of that Jeep. You only saw her beside the window.
How else would she have gotten to the window if she didn't get out of her car?
That's
And
speculation.
I'm asking the questions.
Okay.
I'm asking you a yes/no question. Did you see her get out of that Jeep and approach that window?
I don't recall seeing her get out of the Jeep. Once I got to Riverdale Road, she was already there. To my recollection. It's been some years.
But your recollection of the time it occurred when you wrote that statement, you said that she jumped out of the vehicle and ran up to the window and started punching.
Hello.
I would assume she jumped out of the vehicle. I never said she ran up to the window. I said she jumped out screaming, punching the victim. She pulled out a gun and shot him.
So that's not a true and accurate statement because you didn't see her get out of the vehicle, correct?
Well, that would be the only way she could get out her vehicle is to get to his window. She had to get out her
That's
vehicle to get to his
speculation.
window.
Ma'am, I asked you.
What? You
That
didn't
is not
see
a
it.
true and accurate statement, what you said, because you did not see her get out of the Jeep and approach the window, correct? There was no answer. There was a
no-
commentary without an answer. I
And
don't
she's
mind her
gonna-
doing the commentary after
she's
she
gonna
answers yes or
get
no.
it sustained again.
She never answered yes or no.
She answered that she did not see her get out of the vehicle. She answered the question.
Okay, I'm going to overrule the objection and allow Attorney Tucker to re-ask the question to the.
So that is not an accurate statement you wrote because you did not see her get out of the Jeep and approach the truck, correct?
It is an accurate statement, but I don't remember seeing her per se get out of the vehicle. But she was at his window,
That is
punching and
not
screaming.
accurate.
No.
How can you say it's an accurate statement when you didn't see her get out of the vehicle?
Because I was there, I saw what happened.
You
Your
didn't.
testimony
You
said you
just
didn't see her get out
testified
of
you
the vehicle.
didn't see that happening.
No, I didn't. I don't remember her getting out of the vehicle per se.
But you wrote on your document for the police that you did.
Because this was in 2019, it's now 2023. So I really don't recall if I saw her get out of the vehicle. I don't remember every little thing that happened. This was in 2019.
Now, from that
You
period of time,
Clearly
have you
do.
watched the TV media regarding this incident?
No,
Okay. Have you talked to anybody regarding this incident?
no.
Yeah.
You haven't talked to the state?
Yeah.
Well, of course. I thought you meant outside of the state.
Okay, when I say anybody, that would include the state.
Okay, so I have talked to the state.
Okay, and you did have an interview with the detectives too, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, do you recall when those interviews were?
Not too long ago.
And your statements that you were saying in your interview were different than what you were saying that day, correct?
So they're not different. What I saw is what happened. What I said is what happened.
And what you said is what happened on that document, or what you told to the detectives?
Both.
Both. And there's no doubt in your mind, because it has been 3 or 4 years, correct?
Correct.
There's no doubt in your mind that she pulled the gun immediately, shot from outside the vehicle.
After she yelled for a little bit and screamed and tussled, she pulled the gun out and shot him.
And she was only yelling the MF, right? She wasn't saying any kind of cuss word. She was just yelling you MF.
She was yelling, "Get out of the car, motherfucker."
Okay.
I think, to me, that's.
Thank you, Attorney Tucker.
I don't
Anything
think
else
her
from the
head is
state?
that small.
That's part of the statement.
No.
Okay, may this witness be excused at this time?
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, drop the attitude. I really hate it when they get this
That's the whole thing.
defensive against the defense, because there's no reason to
Well,
be.
if she saw what she saw and she's telling the truth, there's no reason to get testy up there. That's what.
Yeah, and
he's
then
doing.
he impeaches her and said, "Do you know that it's been 4 years. I remember it like this today. Boom, done, finished." Instead of saying, "Well, I clearly blah 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 blah." You don't. I have been in I don't know how many courtrooms with people who misremember things after 2 years.
Yeah.
Did you say this and this? Well, I think this and this happened to the police. Well, it must be that statement that's more correct, because that happened at the time. It happens in, I would say, at least 50% of the trials I'm a juror in. There will be an impeachment of prior testimony, and they will say, "Well, I misremembered." You don't have to fight over it.
Exactly. You don't have to get testy and an attitude over it. He's trying to point it out because clearly that's what he wants to get at, is that you said you saw her jump out of the car and run to his window. And then you say, "Well, no, I didn't see that, but I assumed that's what she did." Okay, well, you don't know because you didn't see it. Just be upfront about it. I
Yeah.
hate to argue.
Exactly.
Does the state intend to call another witness?
Your Honor, we can have 5 minutes to set up the technology to play. So we talk about it all.
Okay, certainly.
It's going to be more than
Okay.
5 minutes. I can
So
tell.
ladies and gentlemen, the state has requested some time to
Like, I don't believe that she wasn't there, clearly, but she's just embellishing on her story, and I don't like that sort of thing. Like, just be truthful.
The way I see it, again, we have the intersection here. We have the defendant's, the decedent's car, defendant's car, defendant, and the victim. This lady claimed to begin with she was going in this direction. But because of all the kerfuffling happening, she goes, according to her testimony, and ends up right here.
Yeah.
And from this position, which I determine is, there's a car blocking her line of sight. She could have been here, I don't know. But she hears her screaming, punching him, shooting him, and yelling "Wolf Star." No, she didn't say that. I'm just making fun. Sorry, if you're new here, I do that sometimes. At the same time, we have a video captured from a guy going this direction. When he's here, her left arm is in the truck and her right arm is close to the window of the truck.
Mm-hmm.
When he's roughly here, I think that's when the kablow happens, and he ends up somewhere up here when the video ends. what the video shows, it takes a couple of seconds. There's none of all of the yelling and screaming. Plus, we have her on 911 the entire time. I had never heard her yell anything other than stop, stop, stop.
I heard her
The
say
MF,
out of the car. I wasn't picking up on any.
There
anything.
wasn't anything about the MF. Justin Smith. Yeah, I don't bring that up because of the last 5 letters. But yeah, now you need an ambulance. No, she pulled her phone up and said, he just pulled my trigger with his finger. No, with my finger. We hear it clearly in the 911 call.
I heard it. Yeah.
But we have the pew-pewing roughly with the witness here. That's when the pew-pewing happens.
From outside of the car that she pulled, and she said she pulled the gun out, so she didn't have it on her, right? Did she say she pulled it out and shot?
Both ways.
Because
I missed the most of her testimony. Did she claim that she saw him shoot him from outside the car?
Yes,
Yeah,
she did. She made that very clear.
So she managed to go from the left turn off over the traffic to the right, where they're apparently. That's why I think. Hey, Holly Moore, I think in the beginning she had made her mind up. This is my testimony, and when he started to pressure her, she fell apart. No, he did not pull that trigger. She says he pulled the trigger with my finger. And the way I envision that in my head. Come on.
Well, I just envisioned she had her hand on the gun, and when he pulled her in the car and they were fussing, she couldn't, like, it all got messy like that.
Clearly, I'm from a country where we don't have pew-pews. She has this one pointed at him. He grabs the barrel at some point. That's why there's two male sets of DNA they can't determine. She does what you shouldn't do when you're handling a firearm. She has her finger on the trigger, and he tries to pull it away from her, which leads to an accidental discharge, but it's her words. He pulled the trigger with my finger, which to me, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Round 2 this morning. Ding, ding.
Yeah. I think to me, it meant more of her hand was on the trigger and all the fighting with the gun pulled the trigger.
Yeah, I normally just take the pheasants out with my car. Yeah, an accidental discharge is such a hard thing to put under self-defense.
But the woman saying she jumped out of the car, fought him in the window, and then pulled the gun out and shot him outside the window.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense from what we saw with the medical examiner. Where the shot.
Squad Bob, totally agree. That's why I like our system better, because as I was told the first year, 11 years ago, I was told when I had finished my first year by back then the leading judge in our courts, that if you hear any new excuses from now on, you have to automatically free the person on the spot, because there is 4 different excuses you will hear for the rest of your life. You'll hear variations of it. I wasn't there. It wasn't me. They deserved it. I tried to defend myself. And that's always one of those 4 excuses. So, but again, I'm doing this a lot. I actually went to court this morning, but was dismissed because one of the defendants and 2 of the witnesses didn't show up. But I do this a lot, so I know I'm probably more trained in trying to put my emotion to the side, and that's why I say in American cases, don't care about the law. It's all about turning the juror. This last witness, do we know for a fact she had her finger on the trigger? No, we can't see the video, but she says he pulled the trigger with my finger, and that's why I believe she had
Proceed
forgotten
at this time.
the safety.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. You may bring the jurors in, Bailiff Ennis. Thank you.
It was fired at a very close range. We know that from the evidence.
And yeah,
Can I back it up so we can view the video again? I want to see where her hand is when the gun goes off. You can't see it because we saw the still photos, and we saw the video today. You can't see when the shot goes off, but when she has it behind her is after the shot has gone off.
yeah, because I think he was past when we heard the shot.
Yeah. You can see on Google Maps there's no way she went from a left turning lane to turn right. This intersection always busy. Yeah, but again, I can't disprove it. It would be the same as me saying you can't. I have a feeling I can't trust this witness because I think she over embellished her story.
I did.
But
Well, we've heard a couple different variations because one witness said she jumped right out of the car with the gun in hand. And then she's now saying she pulled it out.
Yeah.
After getting to his window and fighting with him first. So, and the video really doesn't show you much. You can see the guns out, but at what point?
Yeah, you can see her hand close to or inside the vehicle, and you can see her with it behind her. That's actually what you see.
The court always appreciates the timeliness with which you respond to the time frames put in place. You may recall that at the beginning of the state's evidence that the 911 tapes were published, but the volume was low, and so the clarity was affected. And so the state has made a motion to republish those 911 tapes. And so I have granted the motion, and they're going to do that at this time. Yes.
And that's what I think she claims happens.
Secretary Robinson's 911 calls, State's Exhibit 4, the defendant's 911 calls.
Yeah, that's another problem. The witness she said she was juggling the gun.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about
Thank you. Is there an objection?
I would raise the objection we had at the bench, but understand.
Right, so the court has ruled and has allowed the state to republish.
So yeah, and we have a witness saying she was switching hands with the gun, switching hands with the gun, punching him as she was switching hands with the I mean, you really have to put it all together.
Yeah,
it's a little.
And that's why because I miss the afternoons when it's on Dave's show. Because I'd be sleeping sometimes. I didn't hear the juggling part, but it's just that each and every witness seemed like they just puts on a little bitty too much, and
the fact
that happens.
Yeah, the fact is, take them all out. We don't need them witnesses. We know she shot him one time.
Yeah,
and we know it was from the left or right side. So she had to have been in the vehicle somehow with her hand. That's what I think. My thing is, I don't think it was malicious intent.
No, I think.
I think she should get some sort of time for this, of course.
Yeah, involuntary manslaughter or something like that. It wasn't planned.
Yes, I don't think
And
it's.
thank you, Snivels, for becoming a member.
Because she did.
No, I'm not saying that she should go free, because I think.
Oh, no. That's
So
not-
if anyone thinks that when we are saying we can't make the witness's story act up with it's not because that we think she's innocent. We know she shot him. It's just the charges against him seems like it's premeditated. I don't think that, because it was legal at that time to point a gun at someone during a civilian arrest.
After he hit and run on someone.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know. I mean, what do you think? Do you think we're going to hear from her? No?
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
I don't know if they will be stating to lesser included, because then I thought she kind of like Cara Rentala. I think the level they gave Cara Rentala would be fitting in this case.
yeah. I mean, I don't. Yeah, they aren't even offering anything less, right?
No.
Because I mean, the plea deal they wanted to do with her was life with parole.
Yeah.
So
the only way she can get anything less than 30 years is if she make the jury like her.
Yeah.
Hey, we have an accident up here by Clark House and Forest Parkway, Clark House and Forest Parkway. It's a truck, unfortunately hit a vehicle, and I'm looking at the guy now, he's pretty good, he's moving and everything. But we have a truck that's had an incident with a vehicle. Clark House and Forest Parkway.
What kind of truck is it?
It's a semi-tractor trailer, and it's a pickup truck.
A red Dakota?
Yes, red Dakota.
Okay, does it say that you want to start it in dirt?
So you need assistance, you need an ambulance? Sir. Yes, sir, it's okay. You need an ambulance, assistance? He's not saying anything. So you okay? Yeah.
Okay, is he saying that he needs assistance? He needs an ambulance or no?
All right. Sir, do you need assistance? You need an ambulance, okay? Well, I mean, you with this, well, are you okay?
We have police around, but it's
Yes, I'm aware.
I'm more the prison part.
So, yeah, that's why I pulled over.
No, it's the right way. You just can't see the button.
She was good. Nah, she left.
I'm sorry.
No, man, I'm talking to the gentleman who drives the tractor trailer truck. And he was the car towards the end. You know, they know what happened. He fell asleep. But you need to be here today. Don't start it. Don't start it. It's smoking. Sir, this spot right there, right there.
Are they obstructing the roadway?
I saw from the I saw the car coming. So it was just that. And then I see the light was green. Yes, you had it for you.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm just going to be out there, okay?
Yes, ma'am. We'll apologize for that.
No, that's okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Clinton County 911, what is the location of your emergency?
Clark Howe and Forest Parkway. We had a call earlier, and it's been over like 20 minutes now, and no police or no ambulance have shown up at this location. And like I said, it's a a red Dakota and a semi-tractor truck, and none has showed up at this moment in time.
Okay, I just see the call. We already have someone on the way.
The reason why I'm asking that because the driver who caused the accident, I think he's impaired. Something's going on with him. And so the thing about we're trying to tell him is to turn his vehicle off from the smoke, and he's not following the command. So that's why I'm asking to see what if and he's moving his ears. He's gonna drive off, man. He's driving off. He's driving off. Take a picture of the driver light. Take a picture quick. He's driving off. He's driving off.
Where's he going towards?
Okay, he's heading towards Riverdale Road. Upper Riverdale Road. That's what he said.
What kind of vehicle
He's
is it? Is
he's
that
in
the
the
red
red
Dakota?
Dakota. Get out the road, sir. Get out the road. Hurry up.
What's the tag number?
Red Dakota, front end damage to his red Dakota. Did you get a picture of the driver light? The tag. Oh man, let's get out the road. Get out the road. He's headed towards Riverdale Road, heading towards 285 area. Riverdale Road. He's heading west on Forest Parkway towards the area.
Give me one.
Okay, good. Go. He's gone. Now the other driver who was and she's going to take a picture of the yeah, he's fled. He's
How many
an
vehicles
African
were
American.
involved?
2 vehicles. His vehicle and the truck. The truck is still here. The driver of the truck is still here. And so step out the road. Just step out the road, please. So he's in a red Dakota. It's a 96 model, give or take 97 model. He has he's an older black gentleman, gray hair, blue shirt on, and front end damage. Heavily front end damage in front. Heavily front end. I knew he was going to do something. If I was in uniform, I would have picked a see, but I didn't. So
Okay. Tell you what.
he's heading toward that area. If we get police up that way, I know traffic. I know there's an incident up that way. Hopefully, there's another officers on that see him.
Give me one moment.
I know it's RHA 5933. There it was. RHA 5933. RHA 5933.
I got it. Robert Henry Adams 5933.
Yes. It's okay. She got it. It's all good. Yeah. Hopefully the lady in the Jeep was almost in the residence, so she turned around and she went after him. So she's gonna take a picture of his vehicle and stuff. Can't you believe it? I knew he was something wrong with it. Guy.
He did yell, get a picture. Did you get a picture? Did you get a picture? Go. Didn't he say go?
This is crazy.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
But he's not gonna get far. The truck go over the.
Yeah, especially because she
His
claims
truck
it
is
was
over.
him telling her to go after them.
Okay, ma'am, you have my number. If anything, y'all can hit me back. But I'm here with the driver of the truck, the semi truck, and everything. So my number, you have it.
Okay.
Thank
All
you,
right.
ma'am.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, she was the only one there. Like,
They
Yeah.
will now republish the defendant's 911 calls, which were state's exhibits 4.
Clayton County 911, what is the location of your emergency?
Yes, ma'am. I'm actually on Forest Parkway and Clark Howell Highway. And there was just an accident. I'm sure they've already called, but I just witnessed it, and I just wanted to make sure that I guess called the police as well in case they didn't.
All right, were they on, what were the kind of vehicles involved?
It's a red Dodge pickup truck. I think it's a Dakota. And a semi was involved. And the red Dakota ran the red light and slammed into the side of the semi.
It doesn't look like we received any reports on it yet. I'll go ahead and put in a call here.
Okay.
Red Dakota, and were they on Forest Parkway or on Clark Howell?
The semi and I were turning left onto Forest Parkway, and the Dakota was going west on Forest Parkway.
She was
okay.
close to
and
the
what's your
accident.
name?
The accident was the decedent hit a semi truck, and he almost hit her.
yeah, she was actually traveling behind the semi, they said. So
Yeah.
it hit the semi and, almost caused an accident with her too.
Yeah, this was this is at the scene of the accident before she starts following him. This man was driving the pickup. The semi he ran a stop sign and hit the semi. Stayed at the scene for like 20 minutes. That's what you heard with the. He's a prison warden. The first 911 call you hear, and then he takes off after roughly 20 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, they said the guy got out of his car and he was walking around his car and he was kind of just all over the place, and then he just jumped in his car and took off.
Yeah. And Peter, I believe at some point what he says is get a photo or something. So I think she's hearing it as go, go, go. But again, I think she should take the stand to describe why she did what she did.
Yeah, I mean, I clearly heard him being like, we need his license plate, like basically.
Yeah.
And then they testified to her saying that, obviously everybody was concerned why he left. So.
Yeah, because they thought he was drunk.
They thought he was drunk driving, yes.
Yeah.
It's Hannah, Hannah. Last name is Payne, Payne.
And what's your callback number?
470-512-1847.
We appreciate you calling this in. We'll get someone out there and try to assist them.
Okay,
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Dane County 911, what's the location of your emergency? Yes, ma'am. I'm on Clark Howell and Forest Parkway, the intersection. I actually called about 20 minutes ago for an accident, and no one has shown up yet. But I am under the impression that the guy that caused the accident, who ran the red light, is drunk, and he's gotten back in his car, and he's looking like he's trying to drive away. Okay, can you get his tag number? Hold on, he's driving away. It's a red Dodge Dakota. Give me 1 second, hold on.
Yeah, this is the time where he called back to hear why no ambulance had come. Yeah, no one yells at her at that time. You're right, correct, Peter.
Okay, so he is going west, down Clark Howell, down Forest Parkway. Okay, so you couldn't get a tag number? No, but I'm catching up to him right now. Okay, ma'am, we actually do not want you to chase him. We just want you to be safe. And it's I understand. To chase him. I understand 100%. I'm just going to get the tag number, if nothing else. But I am going west down Forest Parkway.
Yeah, stupid things happen when you are young.
Yeah, almost up to him. I mean, his radiator is busted and everything. I honestly have no idea how he's driving the truck. The way that it is. Okay. It is a Georgia has license.
But yes, but she's not legally obliged. But again, the law doesn't matter. What matters is what do the jury believe. And right now, I think they see her as a Karen who wanted to stop an elderly guy who the state claims was trying to get to a hospital to get treatment. So I think she's going down for this.
The plate is RHA as in apple, 4859.
Okay. So if you can go back to that location where the incident happened, it's because someone is actually on the way to you guys now.
Okay, well, there's a police officer there, but he is drunk. I'm sorry, but I'm here to tell you I'm not going to follow him. because he is going to cause another accident. So I will stay behind him until an officer can get to us. But until then, I'm not moving.
Yeah, no, that's what I want. I want you guys to go back to the location where it happened, and an officer will be out there momentarily, okay? Ma'am.
Get out. Okay, okay.
Ma'am.
Get the fuck off.
Then it stops.
Ma'am!
Yes.
Ma'am! He just pulled the trigger of my gun in my hand while he was...
Ma'am, you were not supposed to follow him.
He hit my car!
Okay, you got the tag number.
There's a police officer down the street. Tell them to come up here now. He pulled the trigger on my gun after he attacked me. Tell the police officer to turn around from the 285 entrance and come up here immediately. And now he needs paramedics. I'm safe, but he ain't. Can you say? You say what happened?
Okay, ma'am, where are you guys located now? Ma'am.
I don't know. I did. No, I don't.
Okay, ma'am.
There's a police officer here now.
Okay, speak with them.
All right.
No, that's and that's what's gonna end her in prison. But I don't think.
The state will now
I just don't think
republish
the charges
State's
against her are right.
Exhibit 6,
I know,
which is
either.
Tiana McCraney's 911 call.
It's the charges that bother me. I don't think it
Yeah.
was some offense or anything like that. The charges bother me.
Clayton County 911 was
It's a
Hey,
cop.
Clayton, hold tight for the transfer. Hold on, sweetheart. Call it about Forest Parkway and Riverdale Road.
Yes, he got him.
Okay.
He
Hello?
got him.
Hello?
Hi. I'm sorry. I'm on the intersection of Phoenix Boulevard and Riverdale, right before the highway. Is this woman? Okay. So, sorry. They got it was like
American Dreamer,
a
there
merging
were at
lane,
least one,
and
maybe
then,
two other accidents at the
it
same
was a
time.
merging
That's
lane,
why
and
the
then
police
she
and
like stopped
ambulances
impatient
didn't
and went
arrive.
around him for no reason because it was coming traffic. And then he almost hit her because he did that. So he braked suddenly, but then she got mad and hopped out her car, and then she pulled out her gun and started screaming at him. And he was like, "What the heck?" And then she was like, "I was just doing," and she started hitting him. Yes.
Okay, and where are you guys?
We're right by the exit of 285 West and 285 North, and it's like Phoenix Boulevard goes one way.
Okay, yeah, I have somebody on the line for that. Okay, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Excoma, for gifting one membership to Jess Rubery. Robbery. Well, thank you so much, Excoma, for gifting it so I could absolutely butcher that name. Yes, Rubery? Robbery?
Rubery. That's what I would say.
We're going to go with Rubery. And thank you for breaking up this. It's hard to listen to that. Yeah, and on to the wall you go. Well, I have to give it over to Dave at noon, so I have to lower your English expectations. Thank you,
Hello?
Excoma.
Yes, ma'am. Are you still there?
Sorry, yes, I'm still here.
Okay, you said she pulled out a gun.
Yes,
Did she shoot the gun?
we heard a gunshot, and then one guy got out his car, and he was like, "Yo, we need an ambulance." Now I'm blocked in. The guy was like, "We need an ambulance." I don't know if she shot him or not. Sorry, dude. And now, did she shot him? She shot him. What?
What type of vehicle were they in?
She's getting locked up. He was in like a. Hold on. Let me get out. It's like a brown pickup. It's a small Dakota.
Okay.
And she's in a Jeep.
Okay, we have someone in route, okay?
They're there already. But okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
That is all we had, John.
Okay. Thank you. Does the state have any other witnesses that it intends to call?
No, Your Honor, the state rests.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Oh. And it's poll
Okay.
time.
So the state has rested, meaning that all the evidence that they intend to adduce in this case has been presented to you at this time. And so there are things that I need to take up with defense counsel and the state at this time. And so I'm going to excuse you at this time. I think it's an appropriate time to take a lunch break. It is now approximately 11:40. I'm going to give an extended lunch because there are things that the court has to do with both the state and defense attorney at this time. And so I'm going to instruct you to be back at 1:45 this afternoon. So you're excused. Have a good lunch.
Yeah, it's over for the state.
I agree. I mean, from what she's being charged with, I don't agree that they have proven that. I mean, I don't think she's innocent by any means, but the charges to me.
Well, again, what's the.
Because the plea deal they wanted to give her was life with parole. And then when that's what they wanted to give her. Because I guess she could get life without parole, is what the charges will.
Well, we can see 16-5-1, murder, felony murder. A person commits the offense of murder when he unlawfully and with malice Jamie, I'm going to pull this up and make you say a word.
Don't make me say words either. I'm just as bad. No, I haven't proven any malice at all.
What's this word?
Oh God, zoom in for me. Hold on. A forethought.
With malice, a forethought, either express or implied, caused the death of another human being. I don't think they have proved malice. Express malice is that deliberate intention unlawfully to take the life of another human being which is manifested in external circumstances capable of proof. Malice shall be implied where no considerable provocation appears and where all the circumstances of the killing show an abandoned and malignant heart. A person who commits the offense of murder when, in the commission of a felony, she causes the death of another human being irrespective of malice. D. A person convicted of the offense of murder shall be punished by unaliving, by imprisonment for life without, or by imprisonment for life with parole. And my problem with that charge is the malice. I don't see malice in this one.
Yeah. And MG spitting facts.
MG spitting facts. Since she had the right to pursue, she also had the right to detain. With the right to detain, she had the right to use force if necessary to do so. So, yeah. Yeah, there was some malice shown, but was it because he was grabbing her? We know she had scratches. And they should bring in pictures of those scratches to show to the jury to say, well, because, yeah.
And they did show her shirt ripped completely down the middle.
No, and again, we can discuss all the law. That's why my question is not if you think she's guilty or innocent or what you think they will find her, but what did the state prove?
Yeah.
I request a louder to get she's over here. I haven't heard that. We may take a brief 3-4 minute break.
And we can, Attorney Tucker, but I think that any motion you're going to make, you would probably just make now and then we'll take a break. Because I don't expect that your motion will be extended.
Yes, sir. You join me in the motion?
Yes.
Yeah, and there's a big difference between the law and the jury as
well.
well.
Motion to direct a verdict based on the facts that have been presented here, based on the evidence that we've heard so far.
No, this judge.
I would. And I'll go through each charge one at a time and make my way. That's a good report.
Okay.
At this time, Your Honor, I would make a motion to direct the verdict that the state does not carry the heavy burden of proving beyond a reasonable doubt of the offense malice murder, as they stated in their allegation that Hannah Payne did on May 7, 2019, with malice aforethought, caused the death of Kenneth Herring, a human being, by shooting him with a firearm. The evidence we've heard are contradicting testimony of what's going on. We've heard one witness say that she came out, held him at gunpoint. We had one witness come out, say she jumped in the window. We had one witness come out and say the accident happened somewhere else besides where
hands.
They said that disputed testimony. Some say the gun was holstered until the car hit her car. Some say she came out with it pulled. We heard testimony from the forensic examiner who said The angle of the bullet in the entrance was a slight right to left, which the theory that was shot outside the vehicle, and we saw the video, that is not a correct account of what happened. In the video, we heard testimony saying that they were fighting over the gun, going back and forth. And then upon the gun going off, immediately she picks up the phone and requests assistance from the police and an ambulance. She's not a nurse, she's not a doctor, but she does the best thing she could. She explains to 911 what happened and requests assistance for him, for Mr. Herring. So in no way or form has anybody come in and proven there was malice of any. There was no malice, no testimony of her saying, you know what, today this guy caused an accident, I'm going to take his life. There's no testimony, there's no evidence that even gives an inclination that that is what was going on. And even though you have people say, oh, she had no remorse or whatnot, she was still on the phone attempting to get an ambulance to come there. She stood and she argued or explained to the bystanders she didn't have her finger on the trigger. This was not anything that had intent. This was a situation where she got grabbed, she was being pulled, and she pulled the gun to defend, and then he grabbed it, and the gun went off. And from her on the 911s, her statements on the 911s, that he went off based on him grabbing the gun and his finger pulling the trigger. There's no malice that has been established in any form or fashion to constitute or even prove anywhere near a reasonable doubt that she did do malice murder. And should the court see and review the testimony the way I have, then that would basically take out the malice murder and the gun charge that was with it, count 6. Then I move to count 2, felony murder, where it says that on the 7th of May 2019, while on the commission of aggravated assault as alleged, a felony that caused the death of Kenneth Herring, a human being, the testimony was that, once again disputed, you don't know if the gun was on her hip or the gun was pulled or what to believe, but based on the video and the testimony from Mr. Williams, who had the video, who the video kind of corroborated exactly what he said.
He needs to do it because
that the gun was never pulled until after the struggle was ensuing, and that the individual other accounts were that the vehicle had stopped and not hit her vehicle, but then did accelerate and hit her vehicle. And no one was able to give an account of the position of her, whether she was on the side of the car, whether she was on front of the car. We did hear somebody say it was like an inch, but anybody who would say it was like an inch would have said the car's hit. So I'm not sure how we can use the weight of that testimony because it doesn't appear to be possible or logical. The gun was not pulled until after she is screaming stop. They're going back and forth the struggle. You saw pictures of her shirt ripped. You saw the pictures of the scratches all on her neck, her arms. You saw the swollen wrist. All of these show that there was a struggle ensued. And the testimony, they said that she was hitting him or punching him. There were no bruises. From the forensic examiner, she said there were no bruises or contusions or anything on his body except for a pin-size bruise on his left shoulder where the seatbelt would go. But it was not the size of a seatbelt, but a pin top size. Therefore, to pull the gun, she had to use for self-defense as he was continuously grabbing, pulling, and revving up his car and driving. And in the 911 tape, at one point she starts screaming, you hear the revving of the vehicle, which confirmed that the revving of the vehicle was to drive off or to hit, or I'm not sure what his intentions were, but from a reasonable person's view who comes out with a phone to say, here, I have the police on the phone, it's not reasonable for somebody to rev up the engine or grab her or try to ram her or her vehicle. She stated in the 911 call, he just hit my car. And luckily it was her car and not her. So as for the aggravated assault upon.
That's stupid because that's trying to imply that he was trying to hit her and she's defending herself. There's absolutely no evidence of that. He shouldn't have said that.
Him grabbing and suing, you saw pictures that were in the truck. A lot of people didn't hear what was being said from inside the truck, but there was a lot of instruments in there that could have been used for serious, immediate bodily harm. There was a knife. There was a small saw. There were needles all over the place. All of these could have been used to cause immediate harm to my client, and she was only able to pull a gun to try to deter him from continuing with the actions he was doing. And she stated she never had her finger in the trigger. Therefore, it was never an intent to pull a gun and shoot. It was for protection and to deter him from his actions there. And therefore, because the aggravated assault has not been proven beyond a reasonable doubt, the felony murder in count 2 should not survive the directed verdict based on the facts that it is not given rise beyond a reasonable doubt that the aggravated assault occurred in the manner it was accused to make an assault upon the person of Kenneth Herring. It was pulled as.
Yeah, and again, did she see all of these things and thought, well, he could use any of these against me as a weapon? Stick with the kerfuffle that ensures. Stick with the ripping of the shirt, the bruises on her. There was a fight, we know that. You don't have to imply that, oh, there was a shotgun in the backseat or there was a needle. She could have, no, because she wouldn't have known that in the moment either. Just like the witness shouldn't embellish, the lawyer shouldn't either.
Protection and to deter him from continuing his actions that he had continuously did, even though you heard her screaming, stop, stop, stop. And therefore, if the court sees it, and I presume they will, sees count 2 and count 3 would be resolved with the directed verdict. And that would take out the count 7 of the commission of the possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. And I would bring the court's attention to count 4, where they said the felony murder with the underlining felony being false imprisonment. The state has put testimony up there that said the car was going, she pulled in, you saw the angle. 2 of them said that it stopped in front of them, that he had space. One says like an inch, one says not sure how much the space is, one didn't really have an angle to see it. But they all confirmed that there was not a collision, that the car was there. And as we saw from the pictures that were tendered, there was plenty of room to move or to go to one side or the other. The guy that was filming it was driving right there beside it. Should Mr. Herring have wanted to move or not participate in what was going on, he could have easily driven out, backed up, after hitting the car, backed up and drove off. And once again, the presumption is that he had the ability to do that. And it was not that the car stopped him from doing that, that his truck was leaking radiator fluid, that the truck was badly damaged.
She said,
and you heard the testimony from the
I'm
state
not going to
officer
do it.
saying this car ain't going far. It's smoking and it's leaking fluid. That engine's going to stop soon enough. We haven't heard any testimony from the state to say that the vehicle was operational, that after the event, when they came to get the vehicle, that it was able to drive. So him being in that position was at his own actions. He drove forward and hit the vehicle. Now, could he have driven off? From the testimony, from the views and the pictures, it appears so. But if the vehicle was not properly running at that time, based on the damage, based on the loss of radiator fluid, based on a lot of factors, that is why he was there. Not because of a car pulling in front of him. With that being said, he had the door locked, or it appeared the door was locked, so nobody could get into the vehicle.
Locks.
That is another reason that he was not able to get out, because he had his window down and the door appeared to be locked or damaged, so it was unable to be opened. All of these do not give rise to beyond a reasonable doubt. There are many theories that can be put on out there, but evidence has not been presented to confirm one way or the other. Evidence wasn't even presented to talk about the vehicle and was it operational after he accelerated and hit Miss Payne's car. So to try to categorize Miss Payne as the proximate cause of why he was there in the state he was, or why the vehicle was unable to move, or why he was unable to move, is not at the hands of Miss Payne. It's the hands of him and that vehicle and his actions. He had reasonable means of escape. He could have just backed up and pulled off. He didn't have to ram her car. He didn't have to accelerate forward. You saw the video driving down right to the left, and that car kept moving. Did not appear to be, any kind of traffic or anything impeding him from driving slowly by and watching it. As you look to the right side in one of the pictures, he didn't even have to go on the sidewalk. He could have scooted around her without even going on the sidewalk. No one said there was something on the sidewalk that was stopping him or impeding him from going that angle and moving on. So to say that she caused false imprisonment or is the cause of that is not been proven beyond a reasonable doubt, not through the evidence that we've heard so far. And because they have not proven that felony, it would not give rise to felony murder, because the underlying felony of false imprisonment has not been proven. There's numerous theories out there. There's numerous things that occurred that were not even touched or addressed. And therefore, because false imprisonment was not done by Miss Payne, then count 4 should fail, because it does not give rise to the felony that would justify the felony murder, which would take out count 8, possession of the firearm during the commission of a felony. Therefore, based on all the evidence we've heard so far, the testimonies and the lack of testimony to explain, the state has not carried their burden beyond a reasonable doubt to prove any of these 8 cases. And I respectfully request this court to grant my directed verdict motion. Thank you.
The state's response.
Judge, as you're aware, the standard is whether or not there is sufficient evidence for a jury to decide the case and the charges, and you have to view the light and the evidence in the light most favorable to the state. As it relates to malice and malice murder, as the jury charges that we have provided and that defense has provided, malice is not ill will or hatred. It is basically the intent to kill, and it can be formed in a moment. And I think that the evidence that has been provided regarding this defendant's demeanor and her conduct, including her own words on the 911 call, where she is cursing, screaming, telling the victim, "I will shoot you," which is basically her stating her specific intent to kill.
Did she say that?
I didn't hear that.
And all of the witnesses who indicated that she was striking the victim. And then her own statement, basically, when she tells us all why she killed him, because he hit her car. And so the state has provided sufficient evidence for the jury to consider malice murder in this particular case based on all of the facts and circumstances that have been provided. As it relates to felony murder, aggravated assault, the uncontroverted evidence is that the defendant had a firearm, which is a deadly weapon per se, and that the victim, as testified to by the witnesses, was placed in a reasonable apprehension of receiving a violent injury. All of the witnesses indicated he looked shocked and confused.
None of them.
And that would be consistent with someone who is placed in a reasonable apprehension of receiving a bodily injury.
Witnesses.
Therefore,
I don't like that
felony murder
because
based on
they-
aggravated assault, and the aggravated assault have been met. As it relates to the false imprisonment, the only thing that is required for the state to prove is that the defendant, as noted in the indictment,
No,
detained
Bill Hammer, there's 74
the victim
likes, not 21.
without lawful authority.
It's probably YouTube making a oopsie
There is
again.
absolutely no evidence that she had any lawful authority to do any of this. And all of the witnesses described that the victim was cornered, that she trapped him, that she maneuvered to block him. The fact that he could have tried to figure out a way to back around all the cars and drive on the sidewalk does not create does not negate the fact that he was detained by this defendant. The photographs, most of them depict circumstances that existed once all of the cars were removed. That was the evidence from the witnesses in this case, certainly from Sergeant Ritchie, who indicated that those photographs were taken much later. So the traffic circumstances are more reflected in the video, and the fact that their vehicles are touching. Her wheels are clearly turned in order to block him in order to detain him in all of the photographs. He has nowhere to go. So he is detained as intended by the statute for false imprisonment, and therefore the false imprisonment and the felony murder associated with that, there is sufficient evidence for those to go to the jury. And in fact, Judge, all of the evidence is she's standing, even though she's telling him to get out of the car, she's basically standing there. She's right at his driver's side door, and she's holding a gun to him. So his choices are try to drive back up or try to get around her car, even though it's blocking him in, or drive another way when there's a gun there. So he is very clearly detained, and we would ask that you deny the directed verdict on that as well. And as it relates to all of the gun charges that support that, I think the only other indication is a conversation about who pulled the trigger, and Judge, the state tendered I believe it's State's Exhibit number 22, if I may retrieve it.
See, I don't like any of it at all. They are overreaching on charge here.
Yeah,
Big time.
I hope in the jury instruction there's some lesser included, because
I think
I think they're going too far with this. And again, MG is what you Americans call a lawyer. And no, I had some other choice words I have heard about lawyers, but I thought, well, I like to keep my monetization. But
Yes.
if the law allows her to detain him with a pew-pew stick,
Which reflects her
then
neural
even though
very
you like it
clearly.
or don't like it,
Even
have
aside
to-
from that,
have to
State's
follow the
contention
law,
is that
even though the law has been
once
changed.
the defendant is the aggressor, which is exactly how she has been described, what's in the victim's vehicle, his conduct, how he drove toward her vehicle, which again, you saw photos of the damage, a term that I use loosely, based on smudges, 2 smudges on her tire and her, I guess that's the wheel well fender. There is no evidence.
Wendy H. giving Flux a library on Saturday, and today she gave me a super chat to put her on the wall, and she's thanking us for covering this case. No, thank you all for being here and watching it. This is my biggest stream that hasn't been around about Karen Reed and where I haven't been rated by someone else. So thank you all so very, very much for watching it on this channel. And I like that even though a lot of you are disagreeing about the case, you're all doing it in a civilized manner. So again, Wendy, thank you so much, and thank all of you for being here. And even though you argue, you do it as grown-ups. A lot of other channels could learn, not a lot of other chats could learn about that.
It's that this victim made any attempt to ram her or run her over. The indication is, as from all of the witnesses were asked her demeanor, aggressive, very aggressive. Once she is noted as the initial aggressor, as the aggressor on scene, nothing
No,
that
Peter,
Mr.
but
Herring
I've seen other
did
chats.
is relevant. She could talk about it, but it's really not relevant to her defense because she is no longer eligible to claim self-defense once she is the aggressor. And that is in the jury charge, the pattern jury charge, that once that the initial aggressor cannot claim self-defense and cannot use self-defense. So we believe that the evidence in this case is more than sufficient to allow the jury to deliberate and to reach a verdict on each and every charge listed in the indictment.
And she will grant that.
That's a good question, Flux. Nope, it's not.
So the court, having heard arguments from defense counsel as well as from the state, has determined that there is sufficient evidence for the case to be released to the jury and for them to deliberate and decide the case. The jury can view the evidence in the light most favorable to the state. And so the case will be released to the jury on all the...
Rachel K. No, I don't baby the chat. I will yell at people if they start being personal or they start calling other people names. But just because you disagree, I believe arguments are the best way of broadening your mind. Because if you can't defend your argument and just time out people, then your arguments are too weak. No, it's state just rested.
Counts 1, 2, 3,
And hey,
4,
Val.
5, 6, 7, and 8.
You clarify, you just said the evidence would be released to the jury and those favorable to the state. Is that your decision or?
My decision is to deny the motion for a directed verdict, and because the court has determined that there's sufficient evidence for the case to be released to the jury to be deliberated upon and for them to decide the case on all the counts 1 through 8.
But there still is a presumption of innocence that goes to my client when it's released to the jurors, correct?
Well, I have the second best. I just haven't
I have
found
said
the best
nothing
yet.
that would indicate anything different. Attorney Tucker.
I thought I heard that.
Okay.
I don't believe so.
All right, so before we broke on Friday evening, I did talk to Ms. Payne directly about whether or not she was going to decide to testify or not to testify, and sort of gave the weekend for consideration. Has the defendant made a decision?
Your Honor, we're right there. I believe if we could break for lunch, we can come back for lunch, we could stay. I did have other witnesses that I have subpoenaed. I want to make sure that they are here.
Oh.
And based on that, I can make the definite decision whether she will testify or not. But if we just have lunch to go over what we've heard today and what we've discussed, we'll be ready to make that announcement after.
Yes, Nicholas covered the case in Arizona, the one Sal went to, where he got a direct verdict. I think it was unaliving his daughter, granddaughter, something like that. He was released because there was lack of evidence. Small chats are best as they grow larger. They slowly turn into a... Well, I think within the last 2 months, I've grown from 20 to 30 viewers watching till today. We popped 100 and been there for a long time. It's all about the mindset of me as the owner and of the people who like what I do or don't like what I do, being civilized. And when I have 500,000 members and I need 10 full-time mods, I will still try to bring up both sides of an argument because I have watched too many sides where only one can go. So I'm not supposed to time out people because I don't agree with me. What about Lefty? Lefty, you can time him out all the time, but the rest of the people only small timeouts. So yeah, but I like because yeah, the Karen Reed case brought a lot over. Yeah, and I'll hope that even if they disagree with me, they will tell me in the chat so I can tell you why I feel like this. Because only that way we can grow, and that's what I watched last night on the night before on that rocket science guy. Just timing out people because they disagreed with them won't change anyone's mind, but maybe arguing can change some minds.
Okay, thank you, Attorney Tucker. Anything further from the state?
Nothing from the state.
Okay, all right, so it's 12. I did instruct the jury to be back by 1:45. The court has to
time out Jamie
go
because
through the jury
her lashes
charges.
is what is going.
But it is my understanding that the defense will be adducing evidence.
I've got to make
I
sure
think
that my
she
witnesses
messed
are
up.
present and an answer to my client, but our intent is to have something
She's supposed
brought out. I
to
just want to make sure the witnesses
the
are here or
evidence,
available, and then I'll discuss the
because
Okay.
they have to
All right,
view
so
it.
at some point, I do want to review the jury charges, so I will do that after your decision, whether you're gonna present evidence or not. And if you are, allow you to do that, and then we can release the jurors and do our jury charges.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, so court stands adjourned until 1:45 PM.
What's prudent? Is that being approved?
Civil and prudent.
I don't know what prudent. Iris, don't put in words I don't understand. Remember, I'm blonde and stupid. He just said that they're gonna discuss if she's taking the stand, and they will be back after lunch with that determination. And he said, "I will if I would put her on the stand." Nope, that's her decision. Fit. That's why I think a lot of people who like us come into Law and Crim and see their echo chamber, find other channels. Oh, he became a member because of you, Jamie. He spelled hostess wrong, but because I'm not that great. Yeah, Judge always say the light most favorable for the state about the direct verdict. She just said the evidence. Yeah, she was yeah. Yeah, if you want to watch Farrell's short of her making the corner kisser medallion, which will rival the Sonic Chew medallion. Jamie will be doing a special on Sonic Chew while we're on Verdict Watch. Go watch Farrell's channel. Yeah, I was breaking up and I couldn't remember what I wanted to say. Stop using fancy words. Well, Valhalla is only a part-time host.
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
I said I thought prudent meant like just reasonable. Like
I don't know.
I see.
You can tell me anything. I'll just smile and nod.
I've seen a couple different.
It's I don't know anything. It's if you don't know this channel, know that I don't know anything. But I try to smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Me too. Well,
and
when it comes to cases like this, everyone's going to have a different opinion, and that's okay.
Yeah, and we had a very different opinion than the jury in the Dealey case, and I got told I was an idiot, and I can only agree. Let's do a Jamie Chris Chan stream while Verdict Watch. Exactly.
Absolutely not.
Jamie will be preparing slides for that.
Dave keeps sending me stuff to watch, and I have not watched it.
Yes, Valhalla is turning 25 today. So everyone, please say happy birthday to Valhalla. It's not every day you turn 25. And yeah, he was painting last night, and Jamie and I were supposed to make a lead-in video that only took 60 minutes. Then I started talking. That was 90 minutes.
It was fun.
It happens. But Jamie, you will be on with your other dad later.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And I will end this. I will go eat, then I'll take a nap, because if we go on verdict watch, or if they are close to closing, then when Dave has to go and do his other stuff in the afternoon, I will come back on and take you back in my warm bosom. That means yeah, testicles. I know that's a fancy word for testicles. And we're gonna have just as much fun as this woman getting a corner kiss.
He looks like he's gonna jack her in the face.
Well, phrasing. But on that note, Jamie jacking someone in the face. Thank you all for coming. Go over, hang out with Jamie and Dave in a short while. See you later. And Jamie, pop your head out and say goodbye. The other side.
Oh, other side.
See you later.